David, tell us what you're learning here.
Well, Martha, this clearly has been bubbling up over the past few days, but now spilling out into the public between Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino. He took the day off today from work, we're told, because he's so upset about the rollout of the Epstein memo that DOJ released earlier this week. Two sources familiar with the meeting say both were at the White House on Wednesday to discuss a unity path forward with the Trump administration following criticism from the Trump base about a DOJ memo out earlier this week that insisted Jeffrey Epstein's client list never existed and he committed suicide.
What you used to cloud seed. Now, I want you to please address a larger question, which is one that is somewhat broad and perhaps even religious. But are you playing God? Are you messing with things that you shouldn't be messing with when it comes to the weather?
I get this question all the time, and I totally think it makes sense to ask it. My intention is to serve God. I think that in Genesis 1:26 through 28, and then throughout the Psalms and the rest of the Bible, God tells us to take dominion over and steward creation, both for our sake, creation itself, and then to honor Him. And so if there are droughts and we have the tools to mitigate the damage done by them for our sake and for nature itself, then we should deploy those for the sake of tending to and stewarding the world. And if we weren't to do that, if we were to ban cloud seeding wholesale, despite knowing that it's safe, despite knowing it could help alleviate these problems, we'd be abdicating our God-given responsibility.
There we are. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle. We're going to get into it tonight. Man alive. The plot thickens. Things get more and more interesting as the moment passes. For those of you that have been living under a rock for the past few days, the Trump administration has come out and said that there is no there, as you saw in the intro there. The Epstein client list does not exist, and for sure, unequivocally, he committed suicide. Leave it alone. Let it to rest. Even Donald Trump came out and was like, are you still talking about the Epstein thing? Yeah. Yes, Trump. Yes, we are. Yes, it's not just about the victims of the Epstein client list. It's not just about did Epstein kill himself. It is so much bigger than that. That's just the flagship of what we're talking about. So when you go to cover up for Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and everybody on that list, which thank you, somebody had posted the list in the comment section earlier, which I may pull it up and we can go over it, the supposed list, which I think is pretty accurate. There is a list and they are keeping it from us. And the question is, to what end? Now, we've been calling out Dan Bongino going like, dude, Dan, I thought you were one of us. Like, raise your hand if you thought that Dan was one of us. I will raise my hand. Like, legit. I thought Dan was one of us. Not Kash Patel. Certainly not Pam Bondi. Now, if you guys remember, everybody was super excited when it came to the Trump confirmations and the hearings and the people that he had chosen to represent America for the people that he could pick. And when Pam Bondi sat down and we covered it, I don't know, raise your hand if you remember that Leah and I went, oh, don't trust her. Do not trust her. And everybody was like, love Pam Bondi. She's going to be like a dog with a bone and she ain't going to let it go. And she's just some tough cookie. She's just the toughest son of a gun out west. And Leah and I are sitting there going, I just don't know. I don't get the right vibes. I think she's a fraud. But we'll wait and see. That's literally exactly how we said it. But don't put your faith in her because I just think she's going to turn. Now I'm going to say something that may surprise you. In Pam Bondi's defense, I don't think she's making these decisions. I do not. I unequivocally do not. And so today, Dan came out and it would seem in this move that he has made, essentially saying that he's out if Pam Bondi isn't out. And he's taking the day off. The rest of the day
what's
off.
so funny is that I don't think here's the thing. If you're a podcaster and that's all you do.
Yeah. What's going on out there?
I don't know. He said that he works really hard all week, and I remember listening to a podcast, and I don't listen to many of his podcasts, before he took the job, and he said he always takes Fridays off. It's just him and his wife, and they go just do whatever.
Right.
So I think they just didn't like Fridays.
Okay, but he did come purportedly to the Daily Mail, and everybody's covering this, that he has said that he is out if Pam is not. Now,
Yeah, but he took the day off. I just thought it was interesting. It was a Friday.
it is very interesting. I am just saying, I want to give Dan the benefit of the doubt. I think what has happened, unfortunately, because for those of you that don't know, Dan had cancer. He has cancer. It's in remission.
He took the jab.
And he got really, really sick. I mean, and there were times when I watched him and I was like, oh, Dan, man, like this is like, when's the last episode of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dan Bongino. So when he took this job, and you guys again may remember, my biggest concern was for Dan's health. I think that within him is a gigantic conflict between what he's being told he has to do and what he knows is the right thing.
Okay.
And so, and I genuinely believe that. And what he's being told is not just what he has to do. I think these people are strong in what they do. And you know who enlightened us about this? Candace Keller. She was in the State House in Ohio, and she said, you would not believe what these people do, whether it's on the federal level or the state level. When they want you, they will manipulate, they will strong arm you, and the manipulation of the lying. So I can see the manipulation going on with Dan, like, this is for the good of the country. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be a team player. And so how does he reconcile that? That has yet to be seen. We'll find out probably on Monday, maybe sooner than that. But I am still genuinely concerned for Dan's health. I think that if he doesn't walk away from this situation, I don't know. I'm just going to pray for him. Okay. The other thing that we're going to talk about, don't you love the background today with these beautiful things that we all see in the sky every day? Our skies are decorated. That's all it is, Leah. It's just like lacy decoration.
I could do without.
AKA chemtrails.
Yeah.
The CEO of Rainmaker has admitted to cloud seeding, just so happens to, oh my gosh, 2 days above where the flood happened in Texas, Camp Mystic. And then I don't know if you saw the intro. Maybe you're tuning in just now live and you missed the intro. Totally freaking me out with the God angle. Now, here's I'm going to give you, do you want to know what I'm about to say? You want to know what I'm about to say. What theology do you think that I think that he is? He's a kingdom guy. He mentioned dominion. And all of these kingdom people, unfortunately, like Andrew Torba over at Gab, this dude's 25 years old. Not Andrew Torba, but this guy that we're going to play this clip again in a second. He's essentially coming on and saying, you know, I believe that God wants us to steward the earth. And so I think that if we don't use the technologies that we have to control the weather, then we're actually doing the opposite of what God wants. And this is where Leah and I, full stop, get off the train with the kingdom people that are continuing down that message, and the mega people that are continuing down that vein, essentially saying we are to play God. We are to take dominion of these. You know, there's so many kingdom people that say we've got to take dominion in Hollywood. We've got to take dominion in tech. We've got to no. We're called to tear that stuff down. Okay. And you are certainly not called to play God. So we're going to talk about that as well. And last but not least, Joe Rogan using some influence on Trump. I don't get this, but whatever, to stop the ICE raids and allow the farm workers to stay. Okay, Joe. Okay, so Leah says, is the Amnesty done? Now, Gina says, I really want to know about Cash because I hired him for an event and he's very close to Devin Nunes, who we thought was a good guy. I believe that Devin Nunes is a good guy, but that doesn't mean that everybody that's close to the good guys is a good guy. And as a matter of fact, sometimes it means the opposite, because a lot of bad guys cozy up to the good guys so that they can look like they're a good guy. And that's what happened to us in our ministry for the past 2 years. Ding. When you got a bad guy that cozies up to the good guys to pretend that they're a good guy, but they're not a good guy. They're just faking. Okay. So let me read a couple of comments and then we'll move into this. But if you guys missed the live rant that Leah and I did this afternoon on the deck, don't miss it. You got to go and watch it. Now it's just on Facebook. I haven't had time to upload it. Tomorrow's Saturday, so hopefully I'll have time to upload it everywhere. But right now it's just on Facebook. But essentially, Leah decided whether she knew she was doing it or not, I don't know. She saw a nest of hornets on Facebook and said, I've got this great idea. Watch my boot. Watch me kick it. I'm going to kick it. I got to kick it. I'm kicking this nest of hornets. Woo! There goes the next nest of hornets. And Leah just kicked it. And then they came flying back at her and she's like, let's kick it again. And then they came flying back at her again. She's like, one more time, kicking it again. And what hornets am I talking about, Leah?
The fake Trumpy prophets.
The fake Trumpy prophets. You can't mess with those people, man. You don't mess with those people because the Trumpy people will come at you. They will fly at you. They will sting you. They will tell you that you feel like you are superior and special. I am special. And you are too.
I want to know, and I think the big thing is that like this is from Michael Savage. Epstein, cover up will sink Trump. Spoke with Mexican friend today who said the Mexicans who voted for Trump are burning their Trump memorabilia. Over what, I asked? Deportations? No, he said, over Epstein.
That's what I'm saying.
His Trump's numbers have sunk. And why? Because on the right and the left, even Eric Swalwell, Stinky Swalwell, Chinese spy Swalwell.
Oh my gosh.
Even the Democrats are capitalizing on this because they're saying the Dallas Democrats will get to the bottom of Epstein. You just watch.
Oh no.
Yes.
Well,
okay. So they're going to capitalize on this. You've got a lot of people on the middle and the left, a lot of what you would call populists, the AOC voters. Did you know that there was a split ticket in New York in AOC's district? Trump president, AOC representative.
Oh, wow.
You want to know why? Because they see AOC Bernie as anti-war.
Yeah.
And a populist. And they saw Trump as the better option over Kamala.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of lefties out there right now who are hoping that Trump, who they voted for, would get us out of Ukraine.
Yep.
And actually, you know what? They're not against the deportations. That's not it, because there's a lot of ICE raids going on.
Yeah.
And Joe Rogan is another story tonight. Joe Rogan, it's like Ivanka Trump. When Ivanka Trump heard that there was chemical warfare going on in Syria, and she's like, Dad, you got to do something. So then he bombed Syria. Same thing with Jared Kushner saying, we don't want to deport people, blah blah blah. So Joe Rogan goes to Trump on like June 30th or something before the 4th of July. And he's like, Trump, he met with Trump, him and Dana White were like, you can't deport these people. Why? Here's the thing. If you live in California, I guess, I don't know this, from what I understand.
You can't get rid of our workers.
They all have illegals that work for them.
Sure.
So they're their friends, right? And I know them because I know somebody who's an illegal working for a friend of mine. Okay, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, they're great people.
I don't want to say his name, but he's a nice person.
Yeah,
I like him, and I wouldn't want to see him. I understand that when you have these connections with people, you don't want to see him deported, right?
But here's the interesting thing to me. So this person that you're talking about, he is more of a general contractor type person. Like he's an all-around maintenance man type fix-it person. This is really just specifically for the farm workers.
Yeah. It's very targeted though.
Yeah.
Not really fair.
So, but I feel like there's got to be something bigger than just Dana White and his heart, or Joe Rogan and his heart, or whatever. There's some sort of farm lobby that's behind this. It has to be. There's no way it's that simple. Sherry says, your post about the fake prophets was so right, and the best warning post for those who follow those prophecies. All are fake and will be judged. Very well said. Dentist Sherry says, yes, he said that on Glenn Beck's show. I think it's to get Christians on board with it. Nana Yaffa says, anyone tracking this on the other floods around the country as far as the cloud seeding goes? Jim says, was there cloud seeding in North Carolina before the floods there? So yes, actually there was. And it seems that it's, we can almost track the cloud seeding to every single one of these. That's why as soon as it happened in the night that we're covering it, I'm going, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Like it's as plain as the nose on your face. And we just feel like, this is how I feel about the Trump administration. They treat us like we're stupid.
Are you stupid?
I ain't stupid. I ain't stupid. Okay? I ain't dumb. I know stuff. I can see those things in the sky. And so all of us know that when we were kids, like maybe kids that are like less than, kids, whatever, 25 years and younger, maybe they don't remember a time where there were not lines in the sky. Like, I think that children think that God created clouds that are like lines in the sky. So kids think that there's a grid in the sky and God put it there. Like, how sad is that? When I was a kid and we watched the clouds, you never saw, this is what you saw. You saw a plane and you saw a little tiny kind of cloud of exhaust that went very, very like shortly behind it. And as the plane went, very shortly behind it, that cloud dissipated. It just dissipated. You know what I'm saying? These things will stay in the sky for like ever. Yeah. That's how they can create these grid patterns and whatnot. So don't tell me that this is just all natural. Now, I'm not a big fan of everybody flying like they do either. I don't think that that's good for the environment. But I also do not believe that those are just the exhaust of all the airplanes that have gotten in the sky since I was a kid. Not buying it. I ain't stupid.
You ain't stupid?
I ain't stupid like that.
Ain't stupid like that?
I might be stupid in other areas. I ain't stupid like that. I might be ignorant in areas. I ain't ignorant about that.
All right. Well, we're going to not be ignorant on Jeffrey Epstein tonight. Michelle, do you have up my show?
I do. Show me which tab you want to go to first.
Okay. So I opened up a couple more, but that's okay. So did you know that First Lady Melania Trump went to Texas to survey the damage?
Wow.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Could you, let's see, show me which ones you want me to pull up. The Andrew Schultz, is that the one?
Yeah, there's like 3 of them. Because I want you to see that. I think, here's the thing.
And then ICE and then Bill O'Reilly.
Well, you guys don't.
What about the 10 shocking stories? Are those the 4?
Well, that might just help because I just pulled 3 from there. Those are the 3 that I kind of picked. So if you just pick that one, we can go through a couple of them. From Vigilant Fox, he breaks down some whole things. I was just adding a few more stories to tonight's show, which is full, packed, fuller than full.
So is this the one we went?
We want, yeah, but it's going to be down to where.
Well, hang on, I got to switch screens anyway, so it'll take me a minute.
Okay, so we're still praying for the flood victims.
Oh my gosh!
And Texas, we're not going to forget them, obviously. And so it was nice to see actually Donald Trump and Melania headed to.
I'll get there
Texas.
in 1 second. Takes me a minute.
Texas.
If I don't have the tabs up before we get the show started, it's going to take me a minute. I know y'all are very patient. I appreciate it.
You all are patient. Thank you very much.
There we go. Close that.
Where we at?
Here we are.
Keep going. There she is.
There we are. All right.
Here we do have President Trump, First Lady as well, along with Governor Greg Abbott. They are on the ground in Kerrville right now, getting an update from local and state officials on the tragic flooding and deadly flooding that has happened a week ago. Hard to believe it's just been a week right now. I know so many people that are in the community that have been feeling that this has been months now, just 1 week, because of all of the issues and, of course, just trying to get back to square one for so many. Dealing with maybe potential loss of home or just an area that they feel comfortable in. And it's much different right now. And we've been talking to the Salvation Army, American Red Cross this past week. They've been giving us some insights into what is going on with these recovery efforts as well. And again, we are going to be waiting to see this roundtable discussion. This is when you will see a lot of different state officials, local officials that are on the ground. They will be briefing the president and the first lady in this roundtable discussion. We see it so many times.
So we're going to keep you guys updated on that. I want you to go to my next one. This is it's number 3 on the Vigilant Fox. Andrew Schultz. I guess I don't really know much about him.
I can't stand this guy.
He's got a huge, giant podcast.
Can't stand him. Curses like a sailor.
Kind of on the left, but populist. And he's kind of representing those AOC voters who voted for Trump and kind of really upset where he sees Trump is at right now.
I believe when Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of every single fucking thing.
know what he's done.
so
And yeah,
everybody
exactly to your
curses on
point.
the show.
If you tell me, it's easier for me to believe you wanted to do all these things if any of them were happening in the way that you said they
To
would.
that point, like there'll be people that they'll DM me and be like, you see what your boy's doing? You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to do, except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that. I believe.
Yeah. I want to read this comment over here on Facebook from Gina. She's a farmer in the Central Valley, and she says get them out. The majority of us farmers want them out. They get drunk and they kill people and they don't assimilate. She says, we are farmers in the Central Valley and we want them gone.
Wow.
Liz says, both sides of the aisle seem to be okay with illegal farm workers because we have convinced entire generations that they are too good to pick produce. Kimberly Wenzel says, Iowa is having flooding now also. And yeah, that's crazy. Sherry Kula says, even local news anchors are openly questioning the Epstein files. Nobody is being fooled by the fake information that is being put out there.
All right, so I'm going to go over here. We're going to go in and out of some of these stories today so as not to be like all Pam Bondi, all Jeffrey Epstein, all this and that. And we're going to talk about the weather modification. I want to start with this one I think I have up right now. Bill O'Reilly, where has he been? We used to listen to him back in the day when
20 years ago.
We didn't know anything. We only had cable for TBN and Fox News because we were Christians and we are Christians, but we're really moral people. And we didn't watch much television. So in order, like our thing that we did was watch Bill O'Reilly
every night. I know.
So I haven't seen him in a while, but
he was the real McCoy. I mean, he's like, he
like
literally, it was.
But he had a perversion.
No, he did. And I think he's got some issues. So when I say real McCoy, I just mean as far as we were concerned at that time. I think he's got some Me Too.
Well, okay,
accusations on his.
Dan Bongino's blaming Pam Bondi, and a lot of people would like to use her as a scapegoat because it's so much easier.
That's what I was going to say earlier. I interrupted my own self and my own thought. What I said to you in the kitchen was, I believe that this isn't just Pam Bondi. You can't just dump this all on Pam Bondi. She's actually not that smart. I'm telling you, they're using her as a scapegoat. And this is, can I get into this now or should I do it later? I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
And then I'll be done. I promise. I said this to Leah. Every time I watch a movie where there's a mob boss and somebody dies, like all of a sudden the mob boss is just like, hey, Shorty, come here, watch this. Boom. Shorty's dead. Okay, Shorty's dead. And then you look at the other 10 henchmen that are next and they're all looking at Shorty and you think to yourself, why are you staying with the mob boss? Because you might be the next guy that gets shot. Okay, Shorty is probably one of many that have already that guy decides, look, let me show you how strong I am. So Pam Bondi is Shorty. She's bleeding out and they're totally fine with it. And all the rest of the henchmen around Donald Trump could be the next fall guy, could be the next guy that he just all of a sudden, boom, don't need you anymore. Well, we're going to just dump all this on you. I don't trust that. That's why I would never, when Dan Bongino decided to go in on this, I was just like, Dan, please don't, because you might become Shorty. Okay, I'm done.
Well, Bill O'Reilly says it's not Pam Bondi either. It's the buck stops with.
Where are you on Pam Bondi resigning?
No, I'm not going to condemn Pam Bondi because she takes orders from the White House. She doesn't make unilateral decisions. She does what she's told to do. That's the way President Trump runs the administration. None of the cabinet heads make independent decisions. They all come out of the West Wing in the White House, all of them. So, you could sacrifice her,
right?
But it is a bad look for Donald Trump. You can't justify not being more upfront about a case that's captured the attention of millions of Americans.
Where are you on Pam?
Yeah, well said from Bill.
Okay, so I'm skipping over here. We're going to come back to gold and silver are like crazy high now. I'm going to kind of talk about that in a little bit. But Trump resumes partial weapons shipments to Ukraine after a Pentagon pause.
Ain't I been saying it, Ernie?
This I'm not happy about. And this is what a lot of people are like, wait a minute. I thought that we were done with Ukraine. I thought we were out of Ukraine. What in the wide world of world war is going on around here? You ran. We're out of Ukraine. Pete Hegseth, JD Vance,
like
literally like, we need to be out of Ukraine. We need to be out of Ukraine. And I feel like this is like some sort of Groundhog Day, but like there's one part of the story changes each day, but you don't know which part it's going to be. It's kind of like the clock says 3, but then the next day it says like 10, right? And you can't pick it out, you know, or the car that went by, it's a little Toyota, but it's blue one day and it's red another, and you can't find it. So when Trump's like, oh, and by the way, we're just going to send some shipments of defensive weapons to Ukraine, and we're all like,
wait, what?
Because like yesterday the clock was at 10.
No, it wasn't.
But yesterday we said we want out of Ukraine, that we're not going to fund this war anymore, that we're totally done. And it wasn't just you who said it. It was Pete Hegseth. It was Dan Bongino. It was Kash Patel. It was everybody was saying we're done. And then you're just nonchalantly, matter-of-factly, this is how Trump rolls. He's like, matter-of-factly, yeah, they need some defensive weapons. It's just defensive weapons. And we're all supposed to be like, yeah. He's like, it's 3 o'clock. And I was like, no, it's 10 o'clock. No, it's 3 o'clock. No, it's 10 o'clock. Like, stop it.
There are 4 fingers.
I'm not happy. Not about that. And neither are you.
Sure, he says, and the real Donald is now exposed.
Thomas Massey had one of those surveys up. Survey says, ding, 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 ding. He had 131 accounts answered his poll.
Excuse me, how many?
131,000 accounts answered this poll. And the questions were, was Jeffrey Epstein an asset of a government intelligence agency? 94% say yes.
And 6% say not affiliated with the government.
So Thomas Massey says, by a margin of 16-1, respondents believe Epstein was an asset because we were told that by a prosecutor in 2008 that he was one. Which country did he work for? And who is on the list? And I love that Thomas Massey is tweeting that out.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Alex Jones is pretty upset about this. I really liked Alex's take on some of this. So he says, I totally agree with the statement. The statement is from the Daily Mind virus. If God spared President Trump's life, it wasn't so that America could make money and fix the budget.
Come on and preach.
It was to burn down a system that relies on people like Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to take that.
No, read the next part.
That.
The next part's even better.
What do you mean the next part?
Betrayal of that mission could bring the wrath of God onto America, the likes of which we have never seen.
Right. So I'm reading. I was coming back up to Alex Jones. I was reading Daily Mind verse. He didn't actually say that. But Alex added, betrayal of that mission could bring the wrath of God into America, unlike we've never seen. Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
100%.
1,000,000%. 1 gazillion percent.
Joe Rogan pushed Trump to back off the mass deportations at a dinner before slamming him over ICE raids. I'm not sure that he actually slammed him, but this is from the Independent.
Yeah, the podcast host whose endorsement is credited with helping Trump. But here's what Cernovich said. He's like, he endorsed Trump one day before the election. You don't get but he did dine with Rogan and UFC boss Dana White on June 30th. The trio discussed the policies and actions taken by the administration with regard to migrant workers. Days later, in an episode on his show, which aired on July 3rd, Rogan agreed with the guest that such policies were disappointing. There's 2 things that are insane, he said on the Joe Rogan Experience.
You want me to just play it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. It's a minute clip here.
Imagine if he didn't buy it.
Turn the volume up. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been. Imagine if the same ownership was in place and then Harris wins and they continue to ramp things up.
Yeah, I don't know what you think of the new administration. Certainly there are things that I like about and some of their protests.
Hang on.
Metamucil keeps you moving.
Metamucil. No. What in the wide world? I'm trying to have I'm not trying to help you. Okay, forget it. We don't have a clip.
Okay, that's fine. He said there's two things that are insane. This one is the targeting of migrant workers, not cartel members, not gang members, not drug dealers, just construction workers showing up at construction sites, raiding them, gardeners, like really. Along with other so-called manosphere influencers, including Aiden Ross and Theo Vaughn, Rogan endorsed Trump during the 2024 presidential election. I don't think that Rogan tipped the scales, honestly, for Trump winning. But he says the Trump administration, if they're running and they're saying we're going to go to Home Depot and we're going to arrest all the people at Home Depot, we're going to construction sites and we're going to be like tackle people at the construction sites, I don't think anybody would sign up for that, he said. Rogan's remarks referred to actions taken by ICE agents in Los Angeles earlier that month, which sparked protests, riots, and violent clashes with law enforcement. Then I don't want you here. You have overstayed your welcome. You weren't invited. And then you're going to riot and be violent when you're asked to leave. You don't get to be here. And so for Rogan to be like, yeah, they have a right to be violent. They have a right. If you go to Mexico, Mexico's like, did you come here illegally? And you're like, no. Well, they're probably going to like, not do nice things to you.
There's a reason why I don't go to other countries. You know why?
Because they don't do nice things to their foreigners.
And people end up in jail and they never come back.
If you do something illegal in any other country, it's not going to go well for you.
You ain't coming home. Ever. Again. As a matter of fact, you could do legal things in other countries and you still won't ever come home.
Trump says, I got myself into a little trouble because I said I don't want to take people away from the farmers, he said in Iowa last week, before adding that he was working on legislation that would allow undocumented workers in the farm and hospitality industries to remain in the U.S. Just to stay. No, because here's the thing. I know you guys want to wait one cotton picking moment and say, I need cheap strawberries. No, you don't.
So
we can all live off of bread. It's nice to have lettuce. It's nice to have zucchini. I saw some illegal workers and how they had to work like 8 or 10 hour shifts, scrunched over picking radishes real quickly.
I know.
And I was like, you know what?
I'm growing my own daggum radishes. We
need to start victory gardens. If you can't pay somebody a decent wage to not break their back for your radishes, you know what? Radishes aren't even that good. Okay? So maybe you don't need cheap radishes. Maybe you need... I understand basic food that people need to live on.
We need to go play our radishes chickmunk episode. Here's your homework for after today's show. Go to resistancechicks.com or Rumble and just put in chickmunks radishes.
Here's the thing, like when it comes to like cattle, meat, and chickens and things like that, you can either grow your own or pay a local farmer, actually cheaper, because we get a half a cow for cheaper in the grocery store
100%.
prices, right?
We get super nice cuts of meat.
And then they do combine and they do have tractors for things like wheat.
So my entire life, I'm going to be honest with you, we lived on round steak when I was a kid, because my mom knew that we needed protein and she liked steak. And you could, when I was a kid, you could buy an entire round steak for $1.19, sometime between $1.19 and $1.35. Like $1.45, you were getting expensive. That steak was too big. So we'd go through all the steaks. We'd come out of the store with like 10 round steaks. And then we had just like one of those really small freezers that iced up. And so you couldn't really even put a lot in there. So we were putting them steaks in there. That's what we had in there. We didn't have a lot of other protein, just steak. Okay. So I don't think I had ever had a T-bone steak probably until I was about 25 years old. I had only ever had beef jerky round steak. And what I mean by beef jerky is Leah didn't know how to cook round steak at the time. And so it was always burnt to a crisp. Like it was like, you just like chew it off. It was literally beef jerky minus the seasoning. No offense to Leah, but she was doing the best she could when my mom was a single mom and Leah had to cook for us. So we lived on round steak, a baked potato, and a can of something, corn, green beans, peas, whatever.
Yeah.
That was our staple diet, right? Yeah. And a big jar of pickles. This is what I grew up on. So when I had a T-bone steak, I was like, wow, this is actually I think I might actually like steak, right? And then probably 5 years later, we got our very first half of a cow. And so I'm like 30 years old, and we got a half of a cow, and they've sent us home with like 20 T-bone steaks or ribeyes or porterhouses, and I'm going like, am I allowed to eat this? I'm allowed to eat this because we could not afford to buy T-bones. We couldn't afford to buy ribeye steaks. Don't forget we're privileged and feel special and superior to everybody, Leah. Like we couldn't afford. And so because I get a half of a cow, I can eat cuts of meat that I couldn't, roasts that we couldn't afford, all because we get a half of a cow. Otherwise, I can't afford that stuff.
Yeah.
But I eat T-bone steaks like it's going out of style.
My point is this. All that labor intensive farming, you should be paying a local farmer to do, and not somebody all the way over in California getting $2 an hour.
Right. So Sherry says, I grew lettuce myself. Radishes are delicious. Donna Bolibby says, I love radishes. They add spice to life. Jim says, go to your local farmer's store. And Dentist Sherry says, you can get a lot of chicken thighs for cheap too. And I will tell you, if you can find a local farm shop near like the Amish, you can get cheap chickens, like whole chickens. We got the first time before we grew our own chickens, I called up a farm shop. They said, we'll butcher the chickens in the morning. They gave me the date. I showed up and you know what I got? A clear trash bag full of 10 naked chickens, butchered, gutted. And I'm like, okay, I didn't know what I was going to, but it was cheap. Now you got to take it home. You got to cut it yourself. But that was a lot of meat. We probably paid like, I don't even want to know what we paid for that. We got 10 chickens. We probably paid like less than $100, which is really sad for the person growing them.
So, and also another disappointing boom, boom, boom.
Wah, wah, wah.
In Trump week, this was Donald Trump. Happy birthday to Senator Lindsey Graham. He is always there when I need a gay bath. Just kidding.
No, Leah.
And I hope everyone in the great state of South Carolina will help Lindsey have a big win in his re-election bid next year. Make America great again. Mr. President, thank you, says Lindsey Graham. I am gay. This
Leah,
means a great deal to
We're living
me.
podcast listeners.
I love being in the fight with you.
To save our country. You are the right man at the right time for our nation and the world.
Lindsey Graham knows what side his bread is buttered on. And this is what gets my goat, if I had a goat. Lindsey Graham is a rhino of all rhinos. He's
a Democrat.
He is.
He's actually just a demon-possessed slithering snake.
He's the one that has been, somebody had posted and said, he is there, he's there for South Carolina, but he's never been to North Carolina with the flooding and everything one time. But he's been to Ukraine like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
In like the past year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's there because, did you see the clip that we played with him salivating over the minerals and everything in Ukraine?
Yep.
And he's like, I need all this money. I need it all. We want it all. We want it all.
Yeah.
And he's making deals for tons of money. Thomas Massey is a principled conservative, and Donald Trump wants to primary him because Thomas Massey can't be bought. If there was something that Thomas Massey wanted in exchange for something, he would get it. Okay, if Thomas, I'll give you my vote if you blank. Thomas Massey doesn't have that. That's why Trump is angry at him. But Lindsey Graham will say, I will give you my vote for $100 million. This is a side story that I probably would like to do like a whole story on, but I'm just going to give you like an overview. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this guy. His name is Tim Kennedy. He's been around kind of social media. If you haven't heard him, it might not be important to you, but it is. It goes to the person that we've been talking about that is a fraud, a military fraud. And this guy, Tim Kennedy, Green Beret and Army hype man, under investigation for lying about combat valor. This is from military.com. This is not a conspiracy theory. Tim Kennedy, a National Guard Green Beret and major public figure within the post 9/11 veteran community, admitted this week to lying about receiving a Valor Award for combat service and to exaggerating parts of his service. The admission by Kennedy, who is often seen promoting the Army's top brass, triggered an investigation and raised fresh questions inside the Pentagon about his close relationship with senior leaders. In a social media post Monday, Kennedy said that he had, quote, implied directly or indirectly that he had received the Bronze Star Medal with Valor. That is not true, and there's no excuse for it, he wrote. I want to take full and unequivocal responsibility for a serious mistake. Kennedy, a part-time master sergeant, currently serves with Special Operations Detachment O, a small National Guard unit based outside of Baltimore that liaises with NATO, Special Operations Forces. His apology came after reporters began pressing Army and Pentagon officials about inconsistencies in his service record and after scrutiny from YouTubers. Kennedy did not respond to requests for comment. The Maryland National Guard takes these matters very seriously. It's unknown what repercussions Kennedy might face. However, the authority to revoke his Special Forces tab lies with the Army Special Operations Command. In a July 2017 episode of American Warrior Show, Kennedy was asked whether he had earned a Bronze Star for valor, and he said he had. There was a bad guy, and the bad guy was shooting at us, and I shot him. I wish there was like this great heroic story. I just did what I was supposed to do like everybody else around me. Kennedy did, however, receive a Bronze Star in 2006 for what the Army described as exceptional leadership, while helping plan combat operations as a junior non-commissioned officer. Though the award was not for valor, it's an uncommon decoration for enlisted troops at his rank and age, even as Bronze Stars for leadership are virtually automatic for senior ranks. But much of Kennedy's prestigious bona fides are true. He earned his Green Beret in 2005 and 2007 and graduated from Ranger School, where he was recognized as a top graduate. His service record showed he deployed one time each to Iraq and Afghanistan and earned a combat infantryman badge. He holds a black belt in jiu-jitsu and is an accomplished fighter. He has made this name for himself all over social media. And when the troops were pulling out of Afghanistan, he went there and he started like getting in the way, what these guys were saying. He wants to be more than he is. Mm-hmm. He is a lot. Okay. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. He does have this Bronze Star. The problem is that when you start to kind of one up yourself and you start to like, and then I did this, and then I did this. And now like he's in a place where everybody around him wants him just to leave and not be in social media ever again. Somebody says the only course correction path for him is to leave the public square entirely. Doesn't matter if his issues stem from childhood, military service, or MMA. The Tim Kennedy show is over. Delete the social media forever and fix yourself. And looks like people are calling him I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Liver King. This Liver King guy went around telling everybody that he got super big by just like eating raw foods and working out, but then like he took a bunch of testosterone.
Oh no.
And so
it was more than what you said.
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Sherry Kula says, oh my gosh, Lindsey Graham, yuck. Another strike against Trump. Absolutely nauseating. I couldn't agree more.
The other thing with the Tim Kennedy guy is that he charges a lot of money to speak. And I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but he created like this kind of like nonprofit thing. And he and his wife and a buddy run it for like millions of dollars. And so it's like a scam upon a scam upon a scam. And I just don't
gotta watch people putting together those nonprofits.
You do, because they're always for a profit.
Mm-hmm.
So we may do a expose on him some other time, but I'm throwing that out there.
So we are going to get to Augustus Dorico. Les says, have you seen the interview on the Sean Ryan show with Augustus Dorico on cloud seeding, his company that did it in Texas? We are going to play a Fox News interview from that. I don't know if Leah has the Sean Ryan one. We could always try and find it. Mm-hmm. But the same thing, we are going to talk about that. We're going to finish that.
So I don't know if you guys knew about a guy, Dr. Kirk Moore. Attorney General Pam Bondi had the ability to drop this case on him, and she has not. Now, I want to tell you what happened. Attorney General Pam Bondi, whose credibility is under fire, blah, 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 has now been revealed to have ordered the acting U.S. Attorney of the District of Utah to carry on the Biden-era prosecution of Dr. Kirk Moore, who saved thousands of lives during the pandemic by choosing not to vaccinate his patients. And for it, he now faces 35 years in federal prison.
Oh my gosh.
On Wednesday, in federal court in downtown Salt Lake City, opening arguments were delivered by the Department of Justice USA Sakito Jepsen, who accused Dr. Moore of sabotaging the Trump administration's rollout of the experimental COVID-19 mRNA vaccines. Jepsen was ultimately walked back by the judge after prematurely mischaracterizing Dr. Moore as a criminal, a preview of many setbacks faced by the prosecution on the first day of this long-anticipated trial. as the DOJ attempted to convince the jury of the safety of the COVID-19 vaccine while simultaneously attempting to avoid the topic altogether, per orders issued by the presiding judge, who was appointed by Trump in 2017. These orders were justified by a claim to preserve the jury from being poisoned by supposed medical misinformation and, according to new jury instructions, potential influence from a faceless foreign government and its agents through social media. The night before, USA Jepsen, known for her zealous adherence to mask-wearing and vaccine doctrine, received an interesting office-wide email inviting the entire staff for the DOJ's District of Utah to attend the high-profile trial of Dr. Moore. They attended in force also on Thursday, seemingly to counterbalance the overwhelming presence of Moore supporters, whose numbers have necessitated 2 courtrooms to accommodate. The gallery, filled with AUSAs on the taxpayers' dime, included their boss, acting U.S. Attorney for the District of Utah, Felice John Vitti, known for his career prosecuting terrorists overseas and now a player in a potentially career-ended political prosecution, similar to what President Trump endured. In his role, Mr. Vitti not only attempted to bolster the embarrassingly vacant turnout of the support of the government's case, but also played a key role in the Trump administration's ultimate decision to move forward with a trial against Mr. Moore and deny a well-reasoned plea to dismiss the 4 charges facing Dr. Moore and his co-defendant, Chris Anderson. It also came to be that the entire pool of representatives for the U.S. government in Utah were given front row seats to the, quote, opening of the door of a brutally revealing and ongoing cross-examination of Chris Duggar, the CDC's top official who oversaw the COVID-19 vaccine deployment and the infamous Operation Warp Speed. Other than his statement that the vaccines saved lives and were safe and effective, which will now be challenged robustly in open court, Duggar arrogantly revealed new details about Pfizer's direct role in delivering the shots, including satellite tracking packs and his perspective of seeing roughly 25% of unvaccinated Americans as a literal enemy of the state. Wow. Asked outside of the courtroom about the Pfizer Phase 3 trial study results recently quoted by HHS Secretary RFK Jr., that there was a 23% higher death rate from all causes compared to the placebo group, like those that received saline injections from Dr. Moore, Duggar dramatically slumped his head and shoulders and told this reporter, "I'm so glad that now that I'm retired, I don't have to listen to anything that RFK is saying." Duggar also said the deaths from the shots were, quote, debatable and purely from comorbidities.
Oh, my gosh.
Duggar, for the record, took a voluntary separation after DOJ began their audit of the CDC, and during his testimony on the stand agreed that if he didn't quit at the time, he was going to be fired. We will have more on this later report as the trial continues to progress, but for now we must focus on what AG Pam Bondi knew when and why this prosecution made it to trial under an administration that promised to end the COVID tyranny and praised Dr. Moore as a hero deserving of a medal for his actions. For it was this very concern that the, quote, political climate and the stated position of the Trump administration, including RFK Jr., which prompted Judge Nielsen during a pretrial hearing to ask the lead prosecutor, Todd Boughton, if the U.S. government wanted to proceed with the trial to include impaneling the jury, if it was at all likely that the trial itself would be halted and the case dismissed before conclusion due to intervention from D.C. To this, Mr. Boughton, according to court transcripts and multiple eyewitnesses, including defense counsel Kathy Nestor, stated confidently yes. And not only is the case proceeding, but he had received approval from the top level of the DOJ to move forward with the prosecution because no dismissal from the Trump administration was imminent or indicated. Outside the courtroom, this reporter asked Mr. Boughton if AG Bondi knew about this case, to which he paused, looked me dead in the eye, and in the same pompous tone he had been delivering his case said, "I cannot comment." DOJ spokeswoman, public affairs specialist Felicia Martinez referred this reporter to the publicly recorded court transcript to confirm the accuracy of this exchange. Prior to this announcement in court, a letter had been received and reviewed by the Weaponization Working Group of an official DOJ committee established by AG Bondi on February 5th, 2025, the day she was sworn in by Trump, with the mandate to combat and end unprecedented third world weaponization of prosecutorial power, which was used by the Biden administration to upend the democratic process. The WWG was to be the enforcement arm of an executive order signed by Trump on Inauguration Day titled Ending the Weaponization of the Federal Government, and stating, "The American people have witnessed the previous administration engage in a systematic campaign against its perceived political opponents, weaponizing the legal force of numerous federal law enforcement agencies and the intelligence community against those perceived political opponents in the form of investigations, prosecutions, civil enforcement actions, and other related actions." The WWG is led by the Office of the Attorney General and supported by the Office of the Deputy Attorney General. Many of these additional agency positions were yet to be filled, but eventually have been, and by well-known legal powerhouses in the GOP, such as Harmit Dillon, which is probably the best pick out of everything. Aaron writes, who until his recent resignation to run for Attorney General of Texas served as Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legal Policy and personally characterized the WWG's mission as righting the wrongs of the Joe Biden and Merrick Garland. So you've got these guys that are supposed to be doing what's right here. In a separate letter on January 26, 2025 to AG Bondi, received prior to confirmation, Brian R. Barnhill, an attorney for the Osborne, Barnhill, and Barfus, representing Dr. Moore's corporation, Plastic Surgery Institute, petitioned for intervention and presidential pardon and meticulously detailed several blatant examples of weaponization, as well as an attempt to complete the prosecution of Dr. Moore prior to President Trump's inauguration. At the time Dr. Moore was incarcerated for a pretrial violation, his trial was set on July of 2025. On November 2024, the government filed a demand for a speedy trial in the matter, requesting the trial date of January 13th, 2025. The political significance of these dates, falling after the election and before the inauguration, is undeniable. The letter reads, which was also sent to RFK Jr. So you can see that this is a weaponization. The question is, why is the Trump administration going after a doctor who gave people saline shots so that they could work and get around having to take the shot? And one explanation that has been presented is that AG Bondi has a conflict of interest in the case, though through her past representation, get this, with the primary mRNA vaccination producer, Pfizer. AG Bondi previously provided legal services to Pfizer through the Fort Lauderdale firm Panza, where she served as of counsel since June of 2021. According to AG Bondi's public financial disclosure, she earned about $200,000 of income from that firm.
Oh, wow.
So we don't know exactly what she worked on with Pfizer, but we do know that, that this case was not supposed to go forward to the court records. The judge says, do we really want to go through with this case? Are we going to impanel a jury and do all these things if Trump's just going to step in? There you go.
I'm really conflicted about this, and I'll tell you why. We are looking at something that on the face...
He gave his patients vaccine cards without taking the shots and injected saline into children.
On the face of it, it's quote unquote wrong and illegal and should be punished. Okay?
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
But rebellion to a rebellious law is obedience to God.
Yeah.
And so here's where Leah and I once again diverge from a lot of Christians who are letter of the law. Mm-hmm. The Bible says it's the spirit of the law that gives life, not the letter of the law. Right. And if in the United States you've got a doctor, so here's how this works. During the Holocaust, it was illegal to hide Jews.
Yes.
What we saw with COVID-19 was a level of tyranny that was similar to that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the level of atrocity was, I'm saying the tyranny was. And so when they tell you that you can't work unless you have an experimental vaccine and you need that job to feed your family, then this man actually should be lauded as a hero. And once again, this is where we diverge from the Trump administration, because he can't be lauded as a hero because it was the Trump administration that allowed those laws to remain in place. They allowed those laws to be implemented in the first place. And it never should have been. No one should have been made to get that stupid vaccine. No one should have been made to wear a mask.
Right.
To do anything in this country. It was unconstitutional. It was illegal. And anybody that disobeyed that is an American hero. And so, of course, the Trump administration is not going to back this guy and support this guy because it goes against what they did.
Yeah, well, we do have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I'm writing a letter to the DOJ asking all charges to be dropped against Dr. Kurt Moore, who is facing 35 years in federal prison for destroying thousands of vials of COVID-19 vaccine, giving his patients vaccine cards, and without taking the shots, and injecting saline into children whose parents wanted them to believe they got the vaccine without risking the deadly side effects. This man is a hero, not a criminal.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
So, United States District Court, District of New Hampshire, there was a case that went into effect this week, and I'm not exactly sure what case it was, but Tim Pool tweeted this out, and he highlighted one specific line. In light of the above, this court grants the petitioner's motion and provisionally certifies the following class for the purpose of preliminary injunctive relief. All current and future persons who are born on or after February 20th, 2025. So, he says, future persons granted legal standing as a class, every single pro-life group needs to file lawsuits now on behalf of future persons.
That's good.
For legal injunctive relief against abortion.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's amazing. So that's from July 10th. That's from yesterday.
Yeah. So this is the post that I shared from Trump. This is the White House. And he says, tech stocks, industrial stocks, the NASDAQ hit all-time high, records high, crypto through the roof. Nvidia is up 47% since Trump's tariffs. USA is taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. Country is now back. A great credit. Fed should rapidly lower rate to reflect this strength. USA should be at the top of the list. No inflation.
And the White House then retweets it and says, country is now back, President Donald J. Trump.
I think they took the True Social and made it a post, but what do you mean no inflation?
Excuse me? What do you mean no? So. The inflation is still here.
So I have this from Darth Powell, an account I follow. You have lost a quarter of your purchasing power in 4 years. And no one is rioting. You literally were made 25% poorer so the government could spend more money to hand out to their friends.
Thank you.
I've been saying this.
And I've been saying it.
Nobody else has been saying this.
This is from the Fred. Right here. Real median personal income in the United States. We have 2014 starts at $35,000. 2019 jumps up to between 42 and 43, drops down to 42, and just kind of maintains. It was going up and up and up and up, and then it flatlines from 2022 to 2023.
So this would be a good time to talk about gold and silver for a minute. But I want to show you this news clip here from Tampa Bay. The salary needed to live comfortably as a single adult is $94,432. The national average, $93,000. 2 working adults and 2 children need $209,000 to live comfortably.
What? Because, like, when I was a kid, you're loaded. Like, that's the richest people.
Not even when you were a kid. This was, like, just 10 years ago.
That's, like, rich people.
So...
who are these people? Who are these single adults making $94,000 a year?
That's not a lot of money. That's just to live comfortably.
Yeah.
That's just to live comfortably. And that's because people have been made 25% poorer, right? That's what I've been trying, and I've been saying it, Ernie, right? I have been saying it. So that leads us to the global debt is ballooning. Here we have $325 trillion and marching on. I wonder what happened in 1971.
So this is a graph here that says the global debt since 1945. So you've got obviously 1941 roughly is or 1945 where it starts. Okay, and we know what happened in 1941.
So I redid the math. This is my favorite thing to do the math on.
Okay.
1972.
Yeah.
Average wage was what?
$10,000
Price of gold, $35
an ounce.
That is 285 ounces of gold.
If you were to get paid in gold instead of cash money.
But yeah, but $10,000 is 285 ounces of gold at that time.
Right.
It's 285 point something. The average wage today is $62,000 a year.
Yeah.
Do you know the average?
Used to be a lot of money.
Guys, gold today is at $3,370. So you would be paid 285 ounces of gold in 1972. And get this.
285 times
18 ounces of gold for the price of gold today. 285 ounces of gold, 18 ounces of gold. 285 ounces of gold, 18 ounces of gold. Now.
No, that's not right.
Stop. No, you're not understanding me. I'll say it. The average wage in 1972 was 285 ounces of gold.
Right.
The average wage today is 18 ounces of gold. Okay. I have never seen these numbers. Lynette last year had us doing these numbers, and we always ended up in the 600,000s.
So what did you say gold is priced at today?
Gold is priced at $3,370. You are not going to believe.
I'm ready. I got it.
Tell them what it is. I already did the numbers.
Calculator. $960,000.
That is the price of inflation. Don't talk to me criminal. That is why my grandfather, who made more than $10,000 a year, I believe,
in the 71. Oh yeah, sure, probably.
If he had taken his wages and had just stored them up in gold, we would be gazillionaires. But he didn't.
No, because we wouldn't have gotten a dime of that anyhow.
Well, we have Grandma Cordis's coin collection, so maybe it might have
helped out. If anybody was actually putting their money in, okay.
But my point is this, guys. Inflation is so bad. When you look at the price of gold is showing us where the dollar is at. So somebody making $10,000 in 1972 is equal to somebody making $1 million today.
But it's not, but it is.
It's not, but it is. And I would say for the comfortableness of how you lived, it's very similar.
I want to read a couple of comments from Facebook because I've been missing some of these over here. Amy says that can't be because as far as how much, like $100,000 or $200,000 for two parents. She says we make way less than that and we live pretty comfortably. I think that unfortunately in America today, the level of what the mainstream media and people at large believe comfort is not what you and I hardworking Americans believe that comfort is. And so I'm glad that you pointed that out. Kate says, 1971, Nixon was president. Amy says, OMG to the $960,000. Kate says, nearly 17 millions killed by the jab. It's a war and a Holocaust. Amy says, does Trump have his head buried in the sand? Gina says, back to the, it's malpractice to the letter as far as the letter goes from the doctor. Mark says, man, I sure hate to miss this stream. I got to get up at like 4 a.m., but I hope to catch the replay on my way to work. And Mark made a purchase. I hope he doesn't mind me telling everybody because he said he was going to. He bought the beard and face oil and the beard butter. And I'm going to fill his order tomorrow. Let me read a couple of more comments. Liz says both sides. Oh, we read that already. Let me check over here on YouTube because I missed any of those comments over there. All right. No, I think we're good. Yeah, that's good.
So I actually want to tell you guys where gold and silver are at. We told you where gold was at. But silver is the silver guys are just literally doing happy dances. They have not been this excited in a while. Good morning from Sydney, where I woke up to higher gold and much higher silver. Silver is now at 38.39. Wow. It is a 13-year high. And a lot of these silver guys are talking about a silver squeeze. And I would like to play. I got two YouTubes I want to play over here. One I don't want to. One we can skip.
Yes, I'm not going to not be excited about this. Shoot, I hate when this. I'm not going to not be excited about this. I am excited about it, but I think it's more or less the inflation is so huge that the silver and the gold they're now just like racing to catch up. That's kind of how I feel about it.
So this was the
price of silver is soaring. Silver's up to 36.86,
this was when it was
guys.
At 36, and now it's at 38.
There's the price of silver right there. We're gonna go up to another.
There you go.
So go to the next one.
Okay.
He's going to explain.
Well, if silver does go to $40 an ounce, I think a lot of the retail public is going to wake up. I mean, you haven't seen massive buying so far yet, right?
Not at all. I have not, but massive selling. But at some point, those who've been waiting to get out will have gotten out, and then there's going to be this pent-up demand of, wow, it just keeps going up. And more significantly than that would be when the lay media, that means the non-coin collecting media, starts talking about the price of the metals, then people we've never met, people who know nothing about investing in this, will start coming here and asking, how do I invest in gold and silver? Because what happens is that fear of missing out hits people who've never thought about this before, but it starts getting talked about at home, and as such brings in people then who've never really considered investing in gold and silver.
And that's when we could really see the price start to take off. Well, if silver does go
That's so true. You know, I want to give you guys a very brief example of that. So I told you guys that the Founders Bibles, I only had 2 left. And I ended up with 3 orders. One didn't go through because the person didn't complete their order, but we're sold out of Founders Bibles. We're not getting any more. It says that they're available for back order, but they're not. We're not doing any more Founders Bibles. I reached out to the Geneva Bible people today because I want to see, I would love to be affiliated with the Geneva Bible. Not that I love the Founders Bible. I love the Founders Bible. Like it's one of my favorite Bibles ever. So by all means, we're not leaving the Founders Bible, but as far as us selling it in person, we're just not going to do that anymore. And we'll always have the affiliate with the Founders Bible. But I would love to introduce you guys to my all-time favorite Bible, which is the Geneva Bible. But I found it very interesting because I told you guys we only have 2 left. If you want it, get it now, and boom, there you go. So this guy makes the example that as people start to talk about gold and silver, they're going to start coming to people like Leah and I, because I get it all the time. Well, I haven't in a while, but I used to. Oh, I think I've heard you guys post about gold and silver. Can you tell me how I can get in? Can you tell me a little bit more about it? I don't know anything about it. So you're going to see the prices skyrocket because of that. So I'm not trying to tell you guys like, oh, fearmonger, go buy silver now, because silver goes up and it goes down. I would hate for you to buy it at 38 and then it goes back down to 34. I don't know. But I don't have, this is what Lynette always says. Any price that you buy it at is a discount. So it's kind of like saying, oh, I bought silver at 90% off, but then then tomorrow it's 95% off. Like it's still 90% off. So you really can't complain. But I would like to encourage you guys to at least give Lynette a phone call and schedule a free consultation call with Zhang Enterprises. And I do have some exciting news, and pray about it with us, because I heard back from Lynette's team today, and they do want us to come out. And so we're probably going to do that in October-ish to go out to Arizona. We may do a small Resistance Chicks gathering, not an event, but a little gathering for anybody that's out west. You know, we may, just get a little place. And if you live out in Arizona and you would like to host that, please send me an email, or just out west in general-ish. When I say out west in general, I mean like Arizona, New Mexico, something like that, where we could do a little small gathering for people. But that would be around the middle of October if we do it. We're praying about it. But Lynette is constantly saying, just give us a call. If you have questions, guys, you don't need Leah and Michelle when you can literally call them for free. So I would love for you to visit resistancechicks.com/God's money. I had that rolling at the top for a while there, but resistancechicks.com/God's money. They are the people that will be able to answer literally all of your questions. And the reason why we moved from ITM trading when Lynette branched off to her own thing, it wasn't because we don't love ITM trading. We love, and we may meet up with them too while we're out there. We love ITM trading. It was because Lynette's focus is more in the same vein as ours, and that is food, shelter, barterability, sustainability, being prepared, not just with gold and silver, but with farming. And that's why we partner with Lynette, not for any other reason than that was just more in our wheelhouse.
So she might They were talking about having us go out to her bug
out. To her bug out house. Yeah, for a couple of days. It's up in the mountains. It's super cool. So pray about that with us. And we still have to fund it, but God's going to take care of that. We're not worried about that at all. But I am very excited about it. And I just want you guys to recognize that we put our money where our mouth is. I haven't had extras in a while, but every time that I do, I'm putting it in gold and silver. It's small amounts, okay? But that's what we're doing. So I'm not telling you guys... And I love that Lynette says that all the time. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I can tell you what I do.
Could you show them? I like to go to SD Bullion for gold and silver prices. I want to show you guys where gold has been historically, so that you can know gold is what Lynette calls wealth preservation.
Yeah.
So if you were sitting on an ounce of gold 15 years ago, which wasn't that long ago, it's 2010.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be.
Do you want me to click on gold?
Yeah.
Right here? No, up here.
Yeah,
there we go.
You would be at $1,200 for an ounce, which now that when I think about it, it's such a discount.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, it was such a discount. If I had money back then, I would have loved to buy tons of gold.
It's 3 times that right now.
So it's up 175%.
Leah, it's from 1,200. Okay, we're at 33.
Well, that's it. The exact numbers is it's up 1,200.
I don't know what kind of percentage they're doing right there. All I know is I can do math. And at 15 years ago, if you multiply 1,200 times 3, you're at 36, and we're at 3,324.
Okay, well, it's up 175%. So
I don't know what kind of math that is.
Okay, it's up 175%.
It's 3 times. Almost.
It's up 100%. But if you go to silver, I want you to see that. And from 15 years ago, it's up 100. It's up 100%, and from 10 years ago, it's up 139%. So I want you guys to look at these things. Like a lot of people say, well, silver is not a good place to put for wealth preservation. But if you had just bought, at $18 an ounce 5 years ago in 2020, when we were telling everybody to buy, you would have doubled your money. Doubled it. You would be doubled. But go ahead, bring your butts in.
I'm here to tell y'all, don't say it like that, and you know better than to say it like that. You ain't doubling nothing. If you had bought it back then you would have doubled your savings of your paper fiat dollars. That's what it means. You ain't doubling nothing, okay? Because this hasn't even matched inflation.
It hasn't. No,
but nothing has matched it like gold and silver.
Yes.
All right? And so that's the thing. Like maybe property. Maybe houses now.
Nobody. I just need you guys to understand. I'm trying to be nice to you because I care about you. Please do not. If you have a couple $1,000s, don't hang on to it in fiat.
Unless, like, what Leah means by that is, like, if you need that to live on, don't go converting it to metals.
If you have a
don't
couple
do that.
$1,000s that you're sitting on in savings,
like that, you just don't need it. You're not going to need to access it.
You're not going to need it for a car repair or something like that.
She means like extra.
Okay, put it in gold and silver. I put it in gold. I mean,
like money you never need to touch.
Yeah,
go and get it in.
But even if like.
If you need money for a car repair, I'm not going to tell people to put it in gold and silver because you can't guarantee that, because there's the spot price and then there's your premium that you have to pay on that, and you can't guarantee that they're going to get that back out of it. Like, I'm not making those kinds of guarantees.
Well, I would say put any of your savings that you would be putting apart into your savings account.
Right.
Okay. So I think that a lot of people understand that.
No, because I think a lot of people put, like, let's say the average person that feels like they're doing pretty okay has like $3,000 or $4,000 in savings, but it's sitting there in case the septic, goes out, or the car breaks down, or the air conditioner needs to repair, or something like that. Like, that's, if you need to access that money, don't put it in gold and silver, because, and Lynette even says this, I don't ever want to advise anybody to do that, but you do need to recognize that as much as there's the premium that I talked about, inflation is also costing you money. So you have to weigh which expense you're willing to take, because either way, you're going to take a hit.
We have a friend of ours, and she puts a little aside every month into silver. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
In her savings.
No, I love that. That's good.
Saying to do.
I just don't want to ever be responsible for somebody coming back and saying, I put my
They're
money
probably going to be fine if you're putting your savings in the gold and silver, but don't take advice from me.
Becky's in the chat. Becky!
Yay. Did she send you a flyer?
I don't have a flyer. Do I have a flyer? Is it in the email? Let me check my email real quick. So if you guys remember when we did the Dan Patch Revival with Tag and Becky Morris in Dan Patch in Indiana, it was amazing. Like, it was so full of the power of God. Tag and Becky are moving in a level of the power of God that we have watched rapidly
Very
increase.
great stewardship
They got filled with the Holy Ghost at Bard's Fest Flemingsburg, and from there they just took off like a space rocket. Okay, we do count them as part of the Resistance Chicks Healing Ministry team, and what I mean by that is they are people that they have already ministered to people in the chat that are probably even here right now. They have if they see you in the chat and there's something, they will probably reach out to you and say, hey, give me a call, because that's just who they are, and they are amazing. And anytime that we have ever had an event that they have showed up at, I can count on them to pray for people. And they are just amazing. So they are having Lisa Schwartz come out for an event. I think it is, she says, I don't have the flyer yet. And Viv wants to mention, hi, Vivian. And Vivian, so full of power of God. Okay. She walks in the prophetic. She sees visions. She has dreams. I mean, that girl prays like a mighty beast. Vivian, you are amazing. And she's always part of the events that they do out there. And they have done events that we haven't been able to go to. So anyway, here's what I can promise you. As soon as I get the flyer from Becky, I will be posting this event on resistancechicks.com in the events section.
Like August 10th, isn't it?
It's August 9th or 10th. And so I want to encourage you guys that if you weren't able to make it to the Lisa Schwartz events that we've been a part of here, we've had her on our program. We've gone to 2 of them, the revivals that are right. And there's another one that's happening, and I don't know the exact date. It's in July sometime. Here,
like July 15th
yeah, we're not going to be able to go to that one, but even though it's a couple doors down, but that's also happening. But I would like to encourage you guys not only to go to see Lisa, but also to see Tag and Becky and Vivian and what they've got going on, moving in the power of God. I cannot encourage you guys enough. I don't think that you'll be sorry if you go. Let me double check on this date, because I know that we've got it here. August 9th. So that will be in Dan Patch, Indiana. There's another town. We call it Dan Patch. It's where it's the horse.
That is Dan Patch.
Is the town's called Dan Patch, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. August 9th, 6 p.m. Thank you, Becky. And so as soon as we get a flyer, it'll be on resistancechicks.com in the show and event calendar tab.
All right. So Judicial Watch, Tom Fitton can confirm that there is a settlement has been agreed to in the principal in the $30 million wrongful death lawsuit of Ashley Babbitt.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm not sure exactly what the amount was. You can go ahead and play this. I think it was like 20 million
is this the
or
right
something.
One or is it a different one? You got 2 from Tom Fitton?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm going to go play this, then I'll screen share.
Hi, Judicial Watch President Tom Fitton here. I can confirm that the parties in the Ashley Babbitt wrongful death lawsuit have agreed to a settlement in principle. Judicial Watch filed the lawsuit against the federal government on behalf of Ashley Babbitt's family. The parties have agreed to settle in principle. Now, the final settlement, or the settlement, should be finalized within the next few weeks. So it's great news for justice for Ashley Babbitt. And I can't tell you, justice for Ashley can't come soon enough. So we're looking forward to getting this done. Thank you.
Leah, what do you think about this? A settlement versus continuing to go down the line of a trial?
Oh, yeah. This is the government's fault. And so, yeah, wrongful death.
I mean, do you think they should settle, or do you think they should have settled?
Yeah. Because they were suing anyways. That's what the whole point was.
So just get the money instead of the conviction, not conviction, but you know what I mean? Instead of like,
because there was the Capitol police officer that shot her, wrongful death. I think that's the right move.
A settlement is an admission. It is. So yeah,
for sure. All right. So we know that. Jesse Kelly is answering a question. You were pessimistic that mass deportations will happen on a mass scale. How are you feeling about this, Jesse? And Jesse says, I'm not sure. Trump's poll numbers are dropping, and I can't yet gauge if it's because of the Epstein debacle or the media's propaganda campaign against deportations. And everybody is saying, basically it's the Epsteins.
Yeah. So Shauna says that Lisa is coming to our neighborhood on the 18th, because Shauna and her husband Condi, I think, are going to be down here. For that, they had texted they were considering going. If you would like more information on that and you would like to go, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to give you that one as well. So you have 2 options. If you'd like to meet and be ministered to by Lisa Schwartz, by all means, let me know. She will be up in this area in Indiana and in Ohio in 2 month span. So
yeah. So I'm not happy about this from RFK Jr. I'm going to play this, though. He says, we're revolutionizing the HHS by unlocking health data, harnessing AI, and bringing in like all kinds of tech gadgetry.
Was there anything you came in here and said, wow, I can't believe we've been doing this way for so long?
I get those surprises every day. The vast majority of people who work for this agency are extraordinary public servants, and they're very excited about, being given a direction that they joined the agency because this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to protect children's health. But the leadership of this agency for many years has been bankrupt morally and I would say scientifically. I'll just tell you, one of the crazy things is that we could not get at the health data. And there's all these different agencies that store different health data. And when I came in here, they were selling it to each other. And we could be doing things with that. We could look, let's say there's 3 diabetes drugs. We can look at each one of them and say, this one is causing side effects in this particular demographic. And we can look at all these things and then start making good decisions about it. And that is what we're doing right now. We're revolutionizing this agency. We're bringing in AI. We've had a flood of extraordinary leaders from Silicon Valley. Some of them have literally walked away from billion-dollar businesses to come and work in humble jobs here to improve the delivery of healthcare, to improve the integrity of and the credibility of our science, to give individual Americans control over their health.
I will tell you, this is how I want control over my health. I want the government out of my food. I want to be able to grow my own food and sell my own food. I would like for the government to make it so that we can get YouTube backs for all kinds of health initiatives where we can talk about, cancer cures and people can give their testimonies on things. I don't want your stupid AI. I don't want to wear your wearables. I don't want another thing or gadget on my body. It's where I draw the line. And what this is it's another ploy to make money. And that's what this is all about. And I'm not happy about it. I will tell you, I think it's wrong. And I think it is not the Lord. I will tell you that. It is not God. And he just keeps doing more and more stuff that is like, it's like otherworldly. It is something of like Mars. And he's supposed to be like, we have Amish friends who were so excited to have RFK Jr. in there. And Thomas Massey was supposed to be there with the Secretary of Ag. And, we still are punishing Amish farmers. We're still going after the little guy. And this is the backwardation of farming right here in the United States. There are so many things that are illegal or against regulations. There was an Amish farmer who went to jail because he said that his salve could help. He had like a nickname or something that it would cure cancer or something. And he didn't take it off his labeling. So he went to jail. You want to do wearables, and I want people to be able to make homemade salves, homemade tinctures, and sell them. And I don't want them to be regulated. I want my friend, Caitlin, to be able to make raw milk ice cream and sell it at the local farmer's market. I want, my friends to be able to butcher a pig or a cow and to be able to sell cuts of meat, not just a half a cow to people. Amen. I want people to not, like in Ohio, you have to sell washed eggs at the farmer's market. You have to have the county come out and test your water because you have to wash your eggs. And I'm like, I just want to be able to go to the farmer's market with some eggs that I'm pulling and are perfectly healthy and better for you. Because in Europe, you're not allowed to wash your eggs because you let in bacteria by washing your eggs.
Well, what's hilarious is that I can sell eggs from my driveway and those eggs are safe. Yeah. But if I drive them down to the farmer's market, they're no longer safe.
I know. This is what I would want RFK Jr. to be talking about, and he's not, for real health. So you're going to hear a lot about that. Now, do you guys remember Chip and Joanne Gaines? They had a big program, a DIY program. They were big Christians. Well, now they have a new reality TV show that prominently features a gay married couple as one of their 3 contestant families living as pioneers in 1881. I had it up.
No, you didn't. Yeah, this is what you had up.
No.
That's literally what was just up when I sat down.
Thought I had this one. I guess I had this one up. Oh, it's my next one here. I guess I have to go over here.
Ahead. Oh. flooding. Jeez, so sad.
So this is what happens when you give in to the woke mob.
But here's the thing. This is what Mega has done. It's not just that they gave into the woke mob. They're just like, you just go, okay, it's fine. It's all okay.
Yeah.
Arriving next for the ultimate digital detox.
Oh, look at this. You guys ready? Yep.
Our Dallas-based dads, the Hannah Riggs.
All of your tech here, phones, devices.
Okay, what's first? No more work, no more emails, no more pings, no more bings everywhere we go. Are you guys ready to get rid of these devices?
No.
Alexa, good morning. I'm Jason Hanna. My name is Joe Riggs. We have our twin boys, Ethan and Lucas, that are 10 years old.
The fact that you're a Christian and you are producing a show to normalize these kids look normal, they look healthy. There's no such thing as two dads. There's no such thing as two dads living together. It is not a thing. And when are Christians going to say it's a whitewash? It's a whitewash.
I don't even have words for that, actually, if I'm being honest. Like, I'm just sitting here going, like, we receive so much flack on our show when we make posts about Trump and this administration, and just not just that, but like where the church is at and where MAGA is at and the acceptance of sin. And I get these comments over and over and over again. Don't judge, don't judge, don't judge, don't judge. You can't judge, you can't judge, you can't judge, you can't judge. I'm sorry, because the entire Bible is full of judgment calls by men of God.
It's all
and that's what we are supposed to do.
No, Michelle, you're supposed to go into the land of Canaan and the land of the Amalekites and love them.
No, just you don't.
Love them in their sin.
No.
Love them in their day of worship. Love them as they pass their kids through Molech.
God
love them
told
in their
them
homosexuality.
oftentimes to kill every man, woman, child, donkey, cattle, animal. Burn it to the ground, raise it to the ground to obliterate the sin that was stained in that place.
We're not suggesting you do that.
I'm not suggesting, but God hates sin.
The OT, the OT God. Now we have Jesus, and so we're supposed to encourage people not to live in sin.
I will encourage you.
Explosions between Bongino and Bondi. We'll get into this here now. Speculation is mounting that FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino is furious over the Department of Justice's explosive memo concerning Jeffrey Epstein, with anonymous sources claiming that he has issued a stark ultimatum to the White House: dismiss Bondi or he's going to resign. Axios, citing 4 sources familiar with the matter, reported Friday morning that FBI Director Dan Bongino was absent from work following a heated confrontation with Pam Bondi over the handling of Jeffrey Epstein's files. The Washington Insider outlet noted that Bongino's absence sparked speculation about whether he had resigned, though a White House source quickly clarified that he remains in his role at the FBI. Now, there was also speculation that Kash Patel would resign if Dan Bongino went. That is not true. This week,
Kash is in it to win it.
Federal law enforcement released a memo asserting that an exhaustive review of evidence from Jeffrey Epstein's death at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City conclusively ruled out murder. And then you guys know how that went. So it looks like sources confirmed to me, Julie Kelly says, the blow up between Bongino and Pam Bondi is really real. It's very real. This has been brewing for 4 months, actually, and came to a head at the White House on Wednesday. There is no question that the base is behind Bongino. I respect Pam Bondi and understand the immense challenge, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, give me a break.
So there's been a lot of frustrations, from what I understand, between Bongino and Pam Bondi. A lot. And it wasn't just the memo.
So Leah, let me throw you this. Let me throw this at you. Start of the show, I said, you know what? I'm gonna maybe surprise some people and say I'm gonna throw a bone at Pam Bondi and say the buck stops with Trump, and that she's just doing what she's being told.
Yeah.
Here's the probability. Okay, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, they are controlled opposition. They give information to Trump. Trump then tells them to do what they want him to tell them to do. And then they are doing what the Trump administration is telling them to do based on the information that they're telling Trump that they need to be told to do. And then Dan Bongino is probably on the outside going, this doesn't smell right. Okay. So yes, the buck stops with Donald Trump, but it's probable that the bad intel that Trump's being fed, or bad intel, whatever you want to call it, is coming from these very people. But here's the thing. The buck still stops with Trump because Trump should know better. Because Trump knows Jeffrey Epstein, and I can guarantee you that he knows he sex trafficked these girls. Trump knows, and that's the worst part of it. That is the worst part of it. Trump knows. Trump has seen that list. Trump knows the people on that list. Trump knows these people that were friends with Jeffrey Epstein. They probably joked about it. That's why Trump doesn't want to talk about it.
There's probably some of that going on. Yeah, I would.
Jim says, I would have great respect for Bongino if he leaves. Exactly.
All right, I'm going to play this clip here from
not screen sharing yet, so.
Alex.
Sherry says, you are the remnant. Keep speaking as the Lord leads you. Amen. Thank you, Sherry.
Okay.
When this whole Epstein cover-up whitewash broke just a few days ago, seems like 100 years ago, I told everybody this is a big scandal, ladies and gentlemen. And I told you it came right from the top, from Trump, for whatever reason he wants to move on. Never seen any evidence he's connected to Epstein. But regardless, we were told all this stuff was coming out. Now we're told.
I mean, I hate to interrupt Alex because I love him. When he says we've never seen any evidence that he was connected to Epstein, what he means by that is we've never seen any evidence that Trump is connected to the sex trafficking and the little girls.
But he's very much.
But he is very much connected to Epstein, and we have plenty of evidence, as we showcased on our show the other day.
Yeah.
It never existed when we know a ton of stuff does exist. But I told you this wasn't just going to blow over. And the fact that they handled this way was going to create a giant Streisand effect. Well, now it has. And this morning I came out and said, looks like Bongino's going to resign. I believe he will. I think it's overall because he's got integrity. And it's not even about Trump. It's just about the way things have been handled and where this is going. Trump is doing so much good. His administration is doing so much good. Tom Homan, Robert Kennedy Jr., Maha, trying to stop the wars. It's so important. But this attempt to say, never talk about Epstein again, move along, these aren't the droids you're looking for, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, is backfiring. And now the Democrats want hearings. It's just all going completely insane. The answer to all of this is to just put the information out. The answer is to tell the truth. Let the chips fall where they may. Yes, it can kill the stock market. Yes, it's going to bring down a lot of powerful people. But those are the powerful people that set up this corrupt system. We didn't elect Trump to play half measures. We didn't elect Trump to sit there and take over the establishment. We elected him to demolish the establishment. Trump didn't save him in Butler and take him through all these crises.
He means God.
To then just take over the establishment, try to dismantle it that way. No, we want the whole thing to come crashing down for the whole world to see as an example to future tyrants. If we don't do that, God's going to judge us. Probably nuclear hellfire. That's my view on it. What do you think below? But I believe
wow, like legit. I don't know if he's had a come to Jesus moment, but that is true statement. And that's what I've been asking the prophets to say. That is exactly what, if you have a Trumpy prophet that you follow, Julie Green, Hank Kunneman, Lance Wallnau, Johnny Enlow, and they're saying that, go ahead, keep listening to them. If they're not, cut them off. They're not true prophets. They don't care about you. They don't care about the nation. They're not a prophet, because a prophet is going to be warning, listen,
hellfire's coming if we don't get this right.
They're going to be warning. And I'm talking about the Trumpy prophets, right? The ones that are like supposedly prophesying about Trump. That's the stuff that they need to be prophesying, because it's the truth. If you're going to keep covering up sex trafficking, and really should have said that about abortion and all that other stuff, but this is where other people are drawing the line. So at least I'm going to push with them here. Megyn Kelly wants a 2-hour interview with Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino to get to the bottom of the Epstein case here.
Okay, 1 second. I'm hearing a dog crying upstairs. One over from there?
I think so.
No.
Nope.
Here we go. Hang on, I'll screen share in just 1 second.
I'm a supporter of the president, but this is not going well. And they need a shift in strategy. And I really think what needs to happen is I volunteer to do it because I am not conspiratorial, but I totally understand the Epstein case very well and why people have questions about it. I'll sit down with all three of them. Give me Bondi, Patel, and Bongino for 2 hours. Nothing, no holds barred. I can ask anything. And then the audience can see whether they're truth tellers. And I care about them. I don't know Pam as well, but though I know Pam, I don't dislike Pam. I really don't. We go back years at Fox News. Dan is the only one who I consider an actual personal friend. But the audience knows that, and I hope is coloring, that in on assessing my own bias on this. But this is why you have to sort of keep some distance between yourself and the administration, even when they're your friends. You have to be able to report honestly on them and to call out bullshit when you think you smell it. And I think I smell it, and I'm nowhere near dog poop playground. So I think it's coming from Washington, D.C.
She curses so much. The one next to it here, you can keep your screen up. This is when FBI Director Dan Bongino took the day off. This is from 2023 with Tim Pool.
I get a call, I don't know, about 4 years ago. It's from, let's say, a friend, prior line of work thing, right? Guy says, listen, and this guy who calls me is an unimpeachable source. This guy's not like some ham and egg or tomato can guy throwing out some theory about a UFO he saw 72 years ago, whatever. This is like a legit, no-nonsense guy. Guy you trust with your, wife, kid, and car, right? He says, I got sent on a temporary assignment once. And on that assignment, I got sent out with on the WCD detail, William Clinton detail. And I knew this guy well. And he says, Dan, I got to share this with someone. He said, I go on a plane and Bill, Clinton gets on the plane with this guy. And it turns out later the guy's Epstein. Now, this guy I'm talking to, this source, he don't know who Jeffrey Epstein is. He's just getting on the plane doing the thing, the whole, protection gig, right? He says, I get on the plane and there are these girls who are obviously not of age who are on this plane. They're clearly young. These are not women. These are girls. And he says, I see Clinton disappear into the back he goes, I don't know what happened. I'm not saying what happened because all I know is he disappeared and these girls were back there or whatever. And he said they land at the next stop, wherever it was. And he goes up to the boss on the detail and he says, I ain't getting back on this plane. Because he's a temp. He's not used to whatever Clinton was up to with the whole shenanigans thing. And this guy's clear as the driven snowman. He don't want to mess around with this. He says, whatever just happened back there, I don't want any piece of it. They sent him home. They sent that guy home. And he was never tempted to that detail again. Now, remember, all those Blackberries on that detail. Here's where the story gets super weird. The guy tells me, months or a couple weeks later, when you lose property in the Secret Service, an email goes out. It'll say hey, I lost his phone. And it gets logged into NCIC or whatever it is. And everybody knows. So basically, if you find this guy's gun, God forbid, or his phone, it's now effectively stolen property, right? All of a sudden, all the Blackberries on that detail for the agents start showing up oh, this guy lost his Blackberry. Holy shit. Wow, that's so crazy. How'd that happen? I'm like, no. He says, yes. He says it was the craziest thing. Oh, look, Agent Joey Bag of Donuts, missing Blackberry. This is around the whole time, the Clinton thing's going on. So fast forward this story, right? He tells me that. About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it, but the story, but not who they are. Says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is I'm absolutely sure of that he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, aces, right? swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right?
So now he's the head of the FBI, and he's like, no,
He's
just
the-
kidding.
not the head, but he's
or the
at the head.
deputy of the FBI. He's the deputy director of the FBI, so he's kind of head, second head.
Yeah.
So he's now saying, no, Epstein was an intelligence asset. That these are all very, you're either lying here or you're lying there. I'm going to play the next one here. FBI Director Kash Patel. Somebody says maybe he's considering resigning. I don't think he is. But here he is again. I'm going to play this clip.
We played this already, but we're going to play it again.
I'm not saying it's not there. Who are you going to get
So
get that?
for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic, but who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto.
Oh, you mean you?
From the Nashville school shooting at the Catholic school.
You now.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing? Oh,
I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants.
Okay.
And let
How
us
about
know
you put on your big boy pants, Cash? Here's what I want to do. And this is the thing. I don't trust Megyn Kelly as far as I can throw her, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Megyn Kelly, if you're like serious about this little, you want to, give me all three of them and I'll sit down and I have 2 hours and I can ask anything that I want to ask. Okay, Megyn, you do that and you play those clips.
Mm-hmm.
The two that we just showed, you make Bongino sit there and listen to his own words back, and you make Kash Patel sit there and listen to his own words back, and then you ask them, tell me, this is what I said on the show the other day, because both of these guys have time after time after time, these are just a couple of clips, come out and essentially said, we know this about the Epstein case. We know it. And I don't know if you noticed that at the very, very start of that clip, with Kash Patel. I'm going to show you guys something. I want you guys to see a liar. Watch this. You all have seen it 1,000 times. I know you know people that do this. This is somebody that's lying. Listen to this.
I'm not saying it's not there.
Watch this.
Who are you going to get
So
get
who
that?
has, for instance, who is currently holding, this is way off the topic.
Look at the confidence.
Who has Jeffrey
And the arrogance.
Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
FBI. That right there. FBI. That
The
arrogance.
Epstein's
Watch it again.
Black Book.
FBI.
FBI. That was a lie. That right there was I'm telling you what I believe to be true. And I mean this. Because I said either he was lying then about knowing all this stuff, like, oh, I know stuff, or he's completely lying now.
Mm-hmm.
Either he knew it then,
yeah,
and he's covering up for it now. Mm-hmm. It's better for Kash, trust me, to have been lying then.
Mm-hmm.
It's way better for him to have been lying then. It is way worse for him to be lying right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And so what he would have to be forced to admit to Megyn Kelly is, I lied when I was talking to Glenn Beck with that arrogant little side. FBI. He was lying. He was lying. Cash doesn't know half the stuff that he has been saying that he knows. He's a nobody. And he has been parading. And Gina, you put in the chat and you said, I want to know what goods you have on Kash Patel. I don't have any goods on Kash Patel. I've interviewed the man. That's it. I've been in his presence. I have stuck a microphone in his face. And I have been treated like dirt by him, which I didn't care. I don't hold grudges like that. Like, I literally don't. But oozing out of him is arrogance, pomposity, and lies. He's a fraud. He's a con artist. He's a con man. Meaning he's lying about the stuff that he knows. That's what I have on him because I've been in his presence and I have smelled the stench of con man on him. I'm sorry. He's a liar. That was a lie. And it is better for him to be that, to be the con artist that didn't know. Because if he's lying right now, that's jailable offense. You're treason. You have committed treason and you need to be in jail for the rest of your life.
No one in America, not even the most deranged, spike-faced, pink-haired transvistas, whatever, believes the latest Epstein story as played out by Mr. Trump and AG Bondi this week in the cabinet parlay. Nothing to see, just a bunch of pointless child porn. Forget about it. But stay, much is moving, flowing unseen. The world is hugely in flux. Large events in human affairs are in motion. Many things are breaking, rotating, dissolving, and reforming, while others wind into giant airballs. So many players acting as though they live in one great hall of mirrors and treachery abides at every turn. Nobody seems to be actually managing any of it, though there is plenty of pretense, jockeying, and staging. The public's anger and anxiety rise in tandem. One thing about Epstein is likely certain. It was an intel operation, and one thing is probable. It was a joint operation between the CIA, Israel's Mossad, and likely the UK's MI6. The object to get as many political poopas and the hook for disgraceful behavior of the lowest kind and blackmailable. Under the thumb, theories and suppositions abound. If Mr. Trump was in on the Epstein sex shenanigans, as Elon blurted out this week, why did the Democrat Party not go after him for 3 election campaigns, all the many months in between? Well, not to put it too fine a point on it, Elon appears to be losing his CEO at X, bailed this week. His AI app, Grok, started spouting Hitler gags, and his empire of world-beating genius is tottering on a broken business model. You can write all that Elon stuff off as a sideshow for now, widely grotesque as it may be. But what is actually going on in the 3 rings of this circus? Flux in the Middle East is one. Whatever else the 12-day war was about, it's the end of Israel threatening to bomb Iran's nuke program out of existence. We've done that favor for them, or pretended to, as some are saying. Kind of kabukied our way out of it. So Israel, shut up about that for now. It is the policy. One story is that the actual Epstein material, whatever still exists, that is, which might reside in multiple locations, is so destructive to the architecture of global leadership that it must be squelched for the sake of the majority realigning forces, tensions, and policies across the Middle East, namely the Abraham Accords. This is hilarious to me because Scott Adams, the guy who writes Dilbert, he has really great takes on a lot of stuff. He has a theory that because Bill O'Reilly said Trump told him that there is a list and that not everybody on the list actually trafficked a kid. So if the list itself, the general list comes out, people's lives could be ruined and the world could go kaput.
So say that. So say that to people.
Yeah.
Just tell people that. Just say, hey, we can't release the whole list because not everybody on the list sex trafficked little kids.
Or we're not sure that they have.
Or we're not sure that they did. And so people just say that.
So Scott Adams is saying this. I believe that the government is probably doing this for our own benefit.
Stop it.
And that Trump, for our own benefit, told Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino to lie for the betterment of the country. And he said this, if that's true, I'm good with it. Most other people, me included, is burn it down. Because that's not how government works. Let me tell you something. We are the government of the people, by the people, for the people. And I don't need a nanny state. If the truth burns something down, let the truth burn it down.
If The fact that somebody knew Jeffrey Epstein and their name comes out, you shouldn't have known that creep. And here's what's worse. If you were on a plane with Jeffrey Epstein and you have not come out to say, listen, I was on the plane, I didn't know any of this stuff was going on, and you don't come out like publicly to decry it, then you deserve whatever.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do about this person?
I don't know. Just have to
Crying.
let him cry.
Is that Toby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so in the Middle East, getting all that lined up is more important to Mr. Trump for the moment, all the Middle East stuff and everything, than whatever this word.
Divesting?
No, defenestrating. I don't know if the word they're using here. The various perverts in office around Western civilization. It just is so... Let's surmise that the president has learned a lot about the Intel Hall of Mirrors over the past decade, but especially lately in his second term, from DNI Tulsi Gabbard, who has access to every document in the bottomless pit of the Intel archives. The president knows he is not exactly in control of his Intel community, and he aims to do something about it. You can make the case that the so-called community is just a giant criminal syndicate engaged in the most nefarious activities ongoing in the world of sin: human trafficking, drugs, money laundering, weapons, every off-the-book thing you could imagine. Nor is John Ratcliffe exactly in control of his own agency, though he can utilize some of its services, but more about that later. Forget about Bondi's gaffe. She is just following orders, as are Messrs. Patel, Bongino, standing down, good soldiers, and only on the Epstein business. You can't even rule out the possibility that Jeffrey Epstein is not dead. Was it suicide or an escape? Shall we say a rendition of parts unknown? I would not assert that, just proffer it as a possibility. I think he's dead. There's an autopsy on his body. There is a parallel matter of Ukraine to consider. Trump is usually frustrated with his inability to put a quick end to it, to make the golden deal with Russia. The Ukraine war is the globalists' desperate final project, its last stand. By saying which, let's assume that the globalists are a thing, a combo of the UK's remaining potent assets, MI6, and the City of London financial octopus, the megalomaniac in the EU bureaucratic leadership, von der Leyen, etc., and the WEF Davos. Ukraine was their instrument to break up Russia, and that project failed, yet the war goes on. Mr. Trump says he was not even informed about Ukraine's recent long-range drone attack deep into Russia to take out its strategic bombers. Wasn't informed? What do you mean? Was it because the CIA has gone rogue over Ukraine, running the war their way, and not even Mr. Ratcliffe has a handle on that? Consequently, Mr. Trump is hugely embarrassed in his many skull sessions with Mr. Putin, and thus Mr. Putin seeks to bring about an end to this enormous pain in the rear end situation by simply winning the war, which he is doing. His terms have been simple, plain, and straightforward from the get-go. A disarmed, neutralized Ukraine that must surrender the Donbass provinces, end of story, and don't even mention Crimea because there's nothing to talk about there. And of course, regime change in Kiev, 86 on Nazis, thank you. In the natural course of things, the incompetent drug addict Zelensky should have been overthrown by his own people months ago and is the only rogue U.S. intel community that continues to prop him up. It's only our community that continues to prop him up. As political drama goes, Mr. Trump must pretend to oppose Russia's winning of the Ukraine war, but don't let Russia win wars, though it is the logical best solution to the problem. So he is forking over the last $100 million, probably just to pay government salaries, pensions, and social services in Kiev for a month or so, but Russia will win, and the UK, EU, WEF will be the big loser, and then Britain, France, and Germany can get on with the job of committing suicide, as they've dedicated themselves to do. Mr. Ratcliffe, meanwhile, earnestly attempts to not become a hostage to the agency he's supposed to run, so amidst all the other strum and whatever drag of July 2025, he issued the report on former CIA Director John Brennan's 2017 Intel Community Asset Assessment that kicked off the Russiagate. Ratcliffe's report looked like a predicate for a prosecution, and indeed, Mr. Ratcliffe, an experienced prosecutor himself, issued a criminal referral to the DOJ on the matter, and voila! We learn next that the FBI has indeed been investigating Brennan and former FBI James Comey for months, probably since the very day that Patel and Bongino got their office keys. So about gosh darn time, these two seditious kiddips will be going to court, it looks like. Now, I have been thinking about this with Brennan and Comey going to court. I think it's going to be a dog and pony show. I believe that they are going to get off on a technicality just like P. Diddy, but it's going to be another distraction, and I just don't want to be a part of it.
Sherry says, I feel like I am Silk of Diamond and Silk, shaking my head in agreement tonight. Let it burn. Wicked Psych says, I broke or dislocated my pinky toe last week barefoot. I was criticized for walking barefoot. I will continue just more cautiously. I love walking barefoot in my yard. Let's see. Jim says, Trump is on the list. RFK is on the list. Alan Dershowitz is on the list. And all three have exonerated themselves. Over on Facebook, TM says, I totally know what you mean. Same as the show's theme. The truth paves the path to freedom. Gina says, I'm very upset that I trusted Cash. I did not have the same experience with him as you did, Michelle, but then I wasn't interviewing him. I'm sorry he treated you poorly. I want my money back from him. I'm so humiliated now as well. You don't have to be humiliated. He's really good at what he does. Like he's really, really good. Look at him. I mean, he's wooed an entire country.
But he's got here's the thing. I don't trust anybody who's put together like that, because that means they're not a normal person. That means they're a narcissist who pays every special attention. Like, he had the very crisp cuffs. He had the little cash tag. And then remember, he's dating somebody half his age. It's gross.
Somebody put in the chat
repulsive.
that he was
I can't
like
handle
marrying her.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah.
Good for them. Now, here's in other special news. Texas, green lights, gold and silver's legal tender. Happy for Texas. Go Texas. House Bill 1056, cleared by both chambers in late May, designates properly marked gold and silver specie as legal tender. So if it has a, I wonder if it has to be American, because here's the Australian koala. Maybe this would work. Hopefully that would work.
Well,
too.
no, because if you're going to, you have to, if you're going to
USA?
use, no, it has to be U.S. legal tender.
Legal tender. Okay. So in the Lone Star State, it will start next September, about this September, 2026. Second phase launching no later than May 1st, 2027. Authorized an electronic payment rail fully backed by bullion. Very interesting there. While Federal Reserve notes remain king for now, the measure lays fresh track for Texans who prefer metal over paper. And I believe Texas is a state for really to get this going, right? I'd like to see some cattle menus in this.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, unlike commemorative coins that often carry eyebrow-raising premiums, qualifying pieces under this need only display weight and purity and may carry a private refiner stamp.
No, just kidding then. All right, then anything can be used as gold.
You could use your Aussie kangaroos on here. It just has to have a weight on it. So it says 1 ounce, 99.999 silver. So
that's awesome.
This actually has the weight. So it has to have the weight. You can even have a private refiner stamps. Just no hints of sovereign issuance. So the act specifies that no person or business can be forced to accept the shiny stuff. So you can't be forced to. I think I think the Constitution guarantees it, but whatever. Sidestepping the usually cash only grumbles from merchants, supporters see the voluntary approach as a constitutional workaround that respects contract freedom while widening transactional choice. The bill also sketches out the digital future of the hard money. The comptroller may license electronic platforms that let consumers send fractions of ounces with smartphones, all fully redeemable in physical metal. Fees must be reasonable and necessary, and pricing must reflect commercially available spot quotes at the moment of each transfer. Critical guardrails in a world where a Monday rally pushed gold to even higher. Notably, vendors headquartered in Texas receive preference when bidding to build the system, so security measures will be in place. I love this. Please, God, more of this. It just makes me so excited.
That's awesome.
Dramatic video. Anti-ICE protester fires a weapon at federal agents during immigration raid. So, Michelle, I think there's a Twitter down here, if you wouldn't mind. A protester was seen apparently firing some kind of weapon at federal agents during the immigration raid at a farm near Camarillo on Thursday.
Wow. Yeah, that is some kind of weapon.
Gun at federal agents. This happened this afternoon. It was a really chaotic scene at the time. A lot of smoke was being launched at the protesters. And again, it appears a protester fired back with that weapon. It looks like he fired at least a couple of times. We have not heard about any agents being hurt.
Wow, that's intense. Oh my gosh. The incident follows the recent arrest of 10 individuals in Texas accused of orchestrating a planned ambush on an ICE detention facility during the 4th of July. The back-to-back events suggested a continued escalation and coordinated with anti-ICE activity nationwide. What began as a low-intensity demonstration is turning increasingly violent, especially with the recent use of firearms, and should be closely monitored. This surge in violence coincides with inflammatory anti-ICE rhetoric from Democrat figures, including NYC mayoral nominee Zoran Mamdani. We're going to hear a lot from him. It just makes me sick. Who declared, "We have to stand up and fight back." I can't play that.
Yeah, this is that. Yeah, so that's crazy. Let's go to Josh Hawley here for a few more stories tonight. Lawmakers were trying to slip in that AI moratorium that made it so that states couldn't do anything to regulate AI in their state.
This was in Trump's big, beautiful bill.
Giant tech monstrosity. Whose idea was it to put it in there? To literally, we're just going to put this in there that like states cannot for like 10 years go after our AI, man, because like we're going to be doing some cool stuff and we don't want like states to like stop us from like taking over the world or anything. So we're just going to swipe this in, put this in like the big, beautiful bill. Oh my goodness. So Josh Hawley here, it says, it is no pause. It is a 10-year giveaway to big tech to seize your data, take your image and your life.
It's a terrible idea for the same reasons it's always been a terrible idea, Steve, which is to give these companies, these mega companies, multinationals, 10 years where they can do whatever the heck they want. And we all know what they're going to do. Here's what they'll do. They're going to come after everything that is yours, your name, your image, your likeness. They're going to take it. Anything you put out on the web, any of your pictures, any of your kids' pictures, your grandkids are going to take them. They're already doing it. And what are you getting compensated for it? Nothing. What are you getting asked for? Are you getting your consent given and freely given to this in order to have them take your information? Not at all. So what will happen is if this thing passes and if it gets slid in here in some backroom deal, and here's the deal about the National Defense Authorization Act, it's all happening behind closed doors. So if you're not on the committee, which I'm not, you don't have any idea what's going on. The proceedings are closed. They're not supposed to talk about it. So they can slip all kinds of things in. It would be a disaster to see this moratorium, so-called, make its way back in there. It's not really even a moratorium, Steve. It is a giveaway to the biggest multinationals, Mark Zuckerberg, these kind of guys in the world. It's a disaster.
It's a disaster. It's a disaster. What in the wide, wide world of AI take over me? iRobot, Will Smith. This is insane, dude. It cannot be. 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 Okay, you want to know what else cannot be? Let's go over here to the CEO of Rainmaker. This guy, man, he's so likable. I like this kid.
He's a Christian.
26 years old. He's a Christian. He knows
the Sean Ryan post. Hang on.
I've got two of them. You can play either one.
Well, let's play the other one first. I'm going to find the other one.
He's talking about his Rainmaker. He is the guy who is making rain happen. And in one world, if you're in a drought area, that's great. I understand it. And he thinks that he's changing the world and doing great, wonderful things. Do I need to retweet it and bring it? There you go. Okay.
To longer form interviews that you have done about some of the safety and research that you've done on what you use to cloud seed. Now, I want you to please address a larger question, which is one that is somewhat broad and perhaps even religious. But are you playing God? Are you messing with things that you shouldn't be messing with when it comes to the weather?
I get this question all the time, and I totally think it makes sense to ask it. My intention is to serve God. I think that in Genesis 1:26 through 28, and then throughout the Psalms and the rest of the Bible, God tells us to take dominion over and steward creation, both for our sake, creation's itself, and then to honor him. And so if there are droughts and we have the tools to mitigate the damage done by them for our sake and for nature itself, then we should deploy those for the sake of tending to and stewarding the world. And if we weren't to do that, if we were to ban cloud seeding wholesale, despite knowing that it's safe, despite knowing it could help alleviate these problems, we'd be abdicating our God-given responsibility to be stewards of the world.
Okay, let's address what people can listen.
Wow.
That was heretical, to say the least.
All right, let's play this next one here. His name is Augustus Dorico.
So to give you the overview of what cloud seeding is, about 93% of all of the liquid and ice water that traverses the lower atmosphere over the U.S., so the water in the clouds, right? About 93% of that doesn't precipitate over land. It just evaporates away or gets recycled by the oceans. That means that there's a ton of water up there that's just going to waste, that you can bring down. So certain clouds that aren't naturally precipitating or that aren't very efficiently precipitating, you can identify those with radar, You can measure that there's liquid in them that isn't coming down, fly a drone up into them, disperse a material that freezes the liquid in the cloud. And we can talk about what that material is later, but disperse a material that freezes the liquid in the cloud into big, heavy snowflakes that become heavy enough to fall down. And if it's warm beneath the cloud, melt into rain. If it's cold, stay as snow. And so if you just blast a cloud, right, that isn't, and then it rains, that isn't necessarily proof that you caused it to rain, right? Like maybe you're just good at picking clouds that were going to rain anyway. And so nobody could really justify doing this at scale up until 2017. And what changed then was the National Center of Atmospheric Research, an organization called NCAR out in Colorado. They realized if you have the right wavelength of radar, of dual polarization radar, which I'll talk about again in a sec too. But if you have the right kind of radar and you fly in a zigzag, right, or in a circle, or in your initials, and you only see precipitation on the radar in your flight track, then you can say, oh, that is definitively man-made because we flew in this zigzag or we flew in this spiral, and there's only precipitation occurring in that shape. They did that in Idaho in 2017 multiple times. And that was the very first time that people were able to show, one, that it was unambiguously working, and two, that they could measure how much water they put on the ground. And so most folks, even in the scientific community, are still catching up to speed with this tech. The regulatory community, some people know about it, think it's cool. Some people think that it doesn't exist. Some people don't know the difference between cloud seeding and geoengineering and a bunch of other stuff. But
I'm in that category.
We'll talk about that then.
It's all demonic. And we are not supposed to play God on that level because he said we know that it's safe, and that's a lie. The stuff that they use to cloud seed causes cancer. It kills people. It kills the plants. Okay? Aluminum.
Well, he's saying that it's just a very small amount of silver, and it doesn't. What
No.
he's doing, he does not harm.
Okay,
the atmosphere.
I don't trust it though. I don't trust whatever.
Well,
it
here's
is.
the problem: they cloud seeded 2 days in that area before the floods. Causation and correlation are pretty intense here. So Lee Zedlin, he is kind of a rock star over there on Twitter. He now runs the EPA, and he says he's everything on solar and geoengineering contrails and everything. He is going to release. You can close that out. Close that out. Close that out.
I'm not screen sharing. Just get us ready to do what we need to do.
So I'm happy that they are going to let this stuff out, but I don't know that I actually trust that that we are going to see everything that is available to be known. So we'll see. And I don't know if you have
That
this
just
one.
said Ken Paxton. So I guess
Oh, here it is. There we go.
Concerned Americans have urgent and important questions about geoengineering and contrails. The American public deserves and expects honesty and transparency from their government when seeking answers. But for years, people who asked questions in good faith were dismissed, even vilified by the media and their own government. That era is over. The Trump EPA is committed to total transparency. As a result, I tasked my team at EPA to compile a list of everything we know about contrails and geoengineering for the purpose of releasing it to you now publicly. In other words, I want you to know everything I know about these topics and without any exception. Instead of simply dismissing these questions and concerns as baseless conspiracies, we're meeting them head on. We did the legwork, looked at the science, consulted agency experts, and pulled in relevant outside information to put these online resources together. Everything we know about contrails to solar geoengineering will be in there. That means that anyone who reads through this information will know as much about these topics as I do as EPA administrator. To anyone who's ever looked up to the streaks in the sky and asked, what the heck is going on? Or seen headlines about private actors and even governments looking to blot out the sun in the name of stopping global warming? We've endeavored to answer all of your questions at the links on your screen. In fact, EPA shares many of the same concerns when it comes to potential threats to human health and the environment, especially from solar geoengineering activities. The enthusiasm for experiments that would pump pollutants into the high atmosphere has set off alarm bells here at the Trump EPA. Prior to now, EPA has never been this proactive to raise awareness about concerns with geoengineering and to stop this activity from being scaled up. This is what it looks like when government actually listens to the will of the people and doesn't try to squash it. You can always trust this administration and this EPA to take your concerns seriously, answer your questions honestly, and carry out the will of voters with integrity.
Okay, so
What do you think?
I hope that he's a genuine, whether he's allowed to actually follow through. And he's like, you'll know what I know. Well, Lee, I think that you're kind of an upstanding, honest guy. I don't know that they're going to let you know everything that you need to know. So that's my thoughts on that. But I do want to read some comments here. Dentist Sherry says, caring for things is not the same as creating something. Kimberly Benzel says, God caused droughts as judgment several times in the Bible. So how does he know he's not going against God's will? That is such a genius question. Thank you for that. Sherry Kula says, Bible does not say that. We are to have dominion over the animals in the earth, not the happenings in the heavens. Ooh, that's really good. Wicked Psych says, the water isn't as wetter as it used to be. I don't know how to describe it. Maybe the soil isn't holding it as good as it used to. That's a good point. Dentist Sherry says, odd how he came into public view interviewing about cloud seeding shortly before the flooding. Very odd. Chris says, and the cloud manipulating egomaniacs have no idea how many other negative consequences result from their poisoning of our air. Well said. And Dentist Sherry says, now they want to admit to chemtrails, etc. It does seem a little bit coincidental that they want to admit. Over on YouTube, let's see. Ballistic Mystic says, someone sells the sacrifice required by the game caller. Over on Facebook, let's see. Gina says, I think Sean Ryan is sketch. And says, nope on Rainmaker Guy 2. Catherine says, in Colorado, the snow had aluminum strands seen by the eye, but when I videoed or took pictures, you could not see it.
So one strange nugget is the hours before Epstein's death. Epstein was permitted to make an unmonitored, unrecorded phone call claiming he was calling his mother. His mother has been dead for 15 years.
Oh my gosh.
The person he actually called was Belarus, according to that person's attorney. So I've got a couple more videos that I just retweeted out.
Okay.
And right now, Turning Point USA is happening. So Tucker has some words to say on Epstein. And then I've got, for the first thing I want to play here is one more clip from Rainmaker Kid.
The drones that we've built are the only ones in NATO that are under 55 pounds that can survive in severe icing conditions. Because this is really cold water, right? So we have these resistors inlaid onto the vehicle that melt the ice off as it accretes onto the drone. So you find the water with the radar, you fly your drone up into these conditions, hope that it survives. You disperse the material. So we have this aerosol dispersion system that basically just emits individual particles that the water freezes onto. And then with the same radar you found the water with, you can now see it freezing, growing into bigger snowflakes, and then eventually bigger drops, and measure how much precipitates downwind.
So you're essentially introducing some type of an agent that has weight to it, and that's pulling the water down.
You're introducing an agent that the water freezes onto. And then it's just the weight of the water that pulls it down. So for every, pound of this that you put up, you get in excess of 40 million pounds down on the ground. 40 million pounds of water.
40 million? Wow.
Yeah.
How many drones does it take to do this?
Like 3.
That's it?
So what we do is we juggle them. So one drone will go up. Once that reaches altitude, the next drone will go up. The first drone, after dispersing its full payload, will come down, and you'll just cycle that as long as the conditions persist. So sometimes that means, you're out there for 2 hours. Our forward operations specialists, though, it's a lot of former vets, National Forest Service guys, oil roughnecks, people that are willing just to live out on a mountain for 9 months at a time. Speaking of which, Apply to rainmaker.com/careers to become a forward operations specialist because we need like 50 dudes in the next 3 months.
No. No more. All right. So Tucker on Jeffrey Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein was working on behalf of Intel Services, probably not American. And we have every right to ask, on whose behalf was he working? How does a guy go from being a math teacher at the Dalton School in the late 70s with no college degree to having multiple airplanes, a private island, and the largest residential house in Manhattan? Where did all the money come from? And no one has ever gotten to the bottom of that because no one has ever tried. And moreover, it's extremely obvious to anyone who watches that this guy had direct connections to a foreign government. Now, no one's allowed to say that that foreign government is Israel because we have been somehow cowed into thinking that that's naughty. There is nothing wrong with saying that. There is nothing hateful about saying that. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying that. There's nothing even anti-Israel about saying that. I've spent my entire life pretty much in Washington, where I knew and loved a number of people, including one very close person who worked at CIA. That has never prohibited me from saying, I think the CIA has done some horrible things, murdered a bunch of people, participated in the murder of a sitting U.S. president. It's got a whole trail of crimes. That doesn't make me a disloyal American. It doesn't make me anti-American in any sense. I was born here. My family's been here for hundreds of years. I love this country. That's why I live here. So criticizing the behavior of a government agency does not make you a hater. It makes you a free person. It makes you a citizen. You're allowed to do that because you're not a slave. You're a citizen. And you have a right to expect that your government will not act against your interests, and you have a right to demand that foreign governments not be allowed to act against your interests. That's not creepy. It shouldn't be forbidden. And yet all of us have trained ourselves to believe that you can't say that somehow, that that's like too naughty and forbidden. And the effect of making that off limits has been to create a lot of resentment, and I'll say it, hate online, where people feel like they can't just say, like, what the hell is this? You have the former Israeli prime minister living in your house. You have had all this contact with the foreign government. Were you working on behalf of Mossad? Were you running a blackmail operation on behalf of a foreign government? By the way, every single person in Washington, D.C. thinks that. I've never met anyone who doesn't think that. I don't know any of them that hate Israel, but no one feels they can say that. Why? And I think the longer that we play along with it, the more subterranean and creepy and hateful the conversation actually becomes.
Yeah.
So I think it's better just to say it right out loud. Did this happen? And of course, that question has been asked to the government of Israel, and their answer is, we're not going to tell you. And I think our answer should be, no. As long as we're sending you money, if you were committing crimes on our soil, we have an absolute right to know, did you do this or not? And yet everybody has been so brainwashed into thinking that's somehow an expression of hate or bigotry, when it's not. It's a baseline question that every U.S. citizen has a right to an answer on. What the hell was this? And by the way, if it turns out that it was nothing.
Wow.
One more here.
Long enough, and instead substitute things that you claim they should want, like bombing Iran. You know, I mean, I'm not for Iran, where you spend all day telling me that it's so important that, you know, boys not playing girls' soccer teams, whatever. I agree. I hate the tranny stuff passionately. I think you should keep the boys off girls' soccer teams. But I don't know. It kind of feels like you're feeding me appetizers. At some point, I want to look around and see a better country. I want to see a country I recognize. I don't want to see people sleeping on the sidewalk. I don't want to see people ODing on drugs. I want to know where those drugs coming from. Why can't you stop it? You've got the U.S. military. Don't you have SEAL Team 6? Like, what are they doing today? Don't you have Delta Force? You could give me another segment about how impressive the U.S. military is? I believe you. Why aren't they employed to make my country better? Why are my cities disgusting? I don't want to go there. It smells like weed and halal food. And you're lecturing me about how it's a great moral victory that I kicked the boys off the girls' soccer team? Good, I'm so glad. But let's do the real stuff, like making New York livable. and create an economy where my kids can have kids. How about this? How about we just make the measure really super simple? Can my children have without the benefit of like the great luck I have had, can they have a roughly approximate life that I had? Or how about just a middle-class life? Can they like get married young, as I did, and like have 4 kids and, you know, take a couple jobs, work hard and all that stuff? But in the end, it's like, fine. Can they do that? Or is that like so remote a possibility that you need to tell me that Iran is the real threat? Take my mind off the fact that you stole all the money and screwed up my country beyond recognition.
Wow. That's my drop into the show. Like legit.
Jim says, wow, it is so good that he got fired from Fox.
That is what I have been trying to say to people in the chat. That's the prophetic voice right now.
Come on.
You're messing with our children. You're messing with their future. My grandfather had a regular old job, and he raised 5 kids. 5 kids in this house, and they had a good life. Now, they weren't great people. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying their standard of living was middle class. You can't do that now. Okay? You can't do that. You can't, you used to be able to have a baby for $200. Now it's $20,000 to go have a baby. I have relatives. No, I have relatives who had to declare bankruptcy because they had a baby and they had to write off their medical debt because they didn't know how to, I guess, navigate the system. But like when you're stuck with like $10,000 in debt, sometimes it's insurmountable. And you're like, I'm just going to declare bankruptcy. I can't pay this back. Because you birthed a baby out of your body. Okay? Birthing babies should be free. I don't care what anybody says. Okay? You got to have a baby. It should be free. Okay? If baby comes out of your body, it should be free.
I think what you mean by that is not that healthcare should be free. But what we used to
we should have a society where having a baby
should not be free. If usually you call for the midwife and you try to pay the midwife a little bit something, or you call for the doctor and you try to pay the doctor something. But this idea, meaning you have the baby at home and the doctor comes to you and you pay a small fee. So it's not that it should be free, because what it sounds like you're saying is you should be able to have a birth in a hospital with all the bells and all the whistles, and the government should foot your bill. That's ridiculous.
It should not cost anything to have a baby. And if somebody comes to help you have the baby and you can pay them, then you should pay them. There's one thing that people should be able to do is have help having a baby come out of their body. If you and hopefully you can pay somebody to help you, I guess, midwives and things like that. But generally speaking, throughout all of time, right? Like basically, the society itself helped women to just have the baby.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's 100% what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is that having a baby should not cost you money. Like pooping shouldn't cost you money.
You're hilarious. The way that we view having a baby and what you have to do to have that baby is ridiculous.
Yes.
Right now, you got to go to all these checkups and you got to take all of these classes and you got to have all this stuff. And then.
So I'm not saying socialized medicine.
Then we need to have, hang on, because this is how it goes. So then they're going to schedule your C-section, right? So that you can have birth right when you have your baby right when you want it. So then you got to do like they got to cut you open for convenience sake. Okay. And then you've got these follow-up appointments that you have to go to because they cut your whole body open. And it's like, this is not what having a baby ever was.
Like, let's take a Native American tribe. Okay. Like having a baby is free.
Yes.
You just have a baby, right? It's like
the stigma is that you have to have a baby in a sterile environment.
Yeah.
And it has to be with all these nurses, and you've got to, and here's the other side of that though, that this is in this part is not talked about. So many babies are born unhealthy right now, and they have to be in the NICU and all of that. And that does cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
That costs a lot of money. And why is society, why are our babies being born so unhealthy?
So sick, yeah.
So sick.
But I want to take that clip. And I'm going to put that on,
really
Facebook or whatever. And, that is what I've been trying to say. So, and then this last person, Green Beret, says, so let me get this straight. Our government is both full of pedophiles and pedophile apologists, and they have stolen all our money and racked up $323,000 and $52 of debt for every single taxpayer in the country. But at least we have Netflix and Amazon, though. Am I right? These are not serious people. This is what I'm trying to say. This is not a normal thing, and I do have a clip, but I'm just going to skip it. This Trump is claiming that his amnesty deal for illegal immigrant workers in the farm, hospitality, and restaurant industries isn't amnesty, but just a work program, a permanent work program. Last little snippet here, Michelle. Let's see Director Radcliffe, CIA Director Radcliffe, really smiling when Trump is announcing more money for Ukraine.
Oh, wow.
He looks like a Cheshire cat.
Ugh.
You can unmute it.
So many people are dying in that mess.
Are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard.
Look, it was like this euphoric, like he was definitely like taking a hit of something.
But they're getting hit very, very hard.
It just felt like he felt it in his whole body.
That was creepy. That was super creepy.
That's it. That's the show.
Oh, man. Wow. Good show, Leah. Dentist Sherry says home births. Kimberly Vinzel says giving birth should not happen in a hospital unless you are high risk. Bring back home births. Amen. Chris says going to any hospital is high risk behavior now. Mm-hmm. That's so good. All right. So before we say goodnight, please stick around for a couple of things that I want to tell you guys. Gina says, impressive from Tucker. I've been on the fence on him lately. And she says, oh, Michelle, you're just being too practical now. LOL. Yeah, that's funny. Sherry says, my baby spent 1 month in NICU, over $1 million bill, had insurance, but exceeded lifetime insurance. So the child is not insurable now. Used everything up in 1 month. Sharon, oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's crazy. $1 million. But see, here's the thing. It doesn't cost $1 million to keep your baby in NICU for a month. That's inflated. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's not even real. I hope you guys will indulge me 1 minute. I was gonna read this yesterday and do just a whole video. I did it on my own personal page, but didn't do it on Resistance Chicks. But I got this message from one of our viewers named Christy. And she says, oh my goodness. So, greetings first. My husband came down from the mailbox and placed the mail inside. To my surprise, I saw a box. I guess I wasn't expecting our snail mail to move so quickly. I scooped it up. I ran to the kitchen and I began to unpack this amazing box of goodness. I don't treat myself. It's a very rare occasion that I splurge on, quote, the extras. We are starting up our homestead and the extras are just not an option at the moment. But I had to do it. If I heard you and Leah talk about the oil of joy, this is actually the armor of God, on one more time, I was coming through the computer and taking yours off of your studio table. I was I so wanted a body butter, but I had to keep my first order simple. What a blessing. I very, very, very rarely ever do a bonus of a body butter unless the Lord directs me and he says, give this to this person. And so I did. I felt led. God just said to give her one. So I blessed her with one. She says, I have the lip butter on and I'm covered in oil of joy, which is even more amazing than I imagined. I'm going to drown myself in this amazing gift of body butter once my chores are completed for the day. I was also debating between the vanilla lip butter and the mint, and now I have both. She ordered a vanilla, so I gave her two. I gave her a mint. I truly can't thank you enough. Just wow. Did I mention the packaging? It's just wonderful. Everything about these products are top of the line. Thank you for all you do. I mean, all you do. I learn every time I tune in. May our Lord continue to guide and protect and lead and bless you both with sincere thanks, Christy. So I told her that I would leave her name off, meaning like her last name, because there's a million Christys in the world. And I asked her if I could read this, and she said, by all means, feel free to share. Getting ready for my shower finally, so I'm looking forward to using the body butter. Thanks again so much. So that was from Christy, and that was yesterday, and I literally got so excited about it that I went on my personal page and did a live, and I never do that. And I said, guys, just for my friends, I just wanted to share something fun. Like, this is super cool that people appreciate what we're doing. And I do receive messages like that. And I don't always read them on air. But I did get another one tonight that I'm going to read out loud. And like I said, please indulge me because this is so fun for me. If you want to not tune in, that's totally fine. You're just seeing Michelle super excited about something and super excited that you guys are super excited about something that I'm super excited about. So this one is from Robin. And she says, she starts off and she titles it, the subject, "You Smell Amazing," with exclamation point. She says, hi, Resistance Chicks. Thank you both for all you do to keep us all up to date on the craziness going on and putting it into a biblical perspective. I'm so thankful our Father God Creator brought us all together for such a time as this. Amen, Robin. She says, huge kudos, Michelle, on the Armor of God blend and the oil of joy. I wore the Armor of God to my woman's prayer group pool party today, and wow, did I hear some compliments on how great I smelled, LOL. I sent 2 of my friends the link to both Armor of God and Oil of Joy Healing for the Soul. They were both planning to place orders ASAP. I love wearing both blends. I've been stunting the Armor of God lately because I recite it every morning before I start my day. I look forward to the family Zoom whenever y'all get a chance to get it in your lineup, which we are going to do that just as the Lord leads. Leah and Michelle, you and your family are all in my prayers and covered by the blood of Jesus. Prayers for blessings from heaven. Robin in Minnesota. So thank you, Robin, for that. And thank you, Christy, for saying that you guys are enthusiastic about the products. And I said this on my live video that it was on my personal page, so you guys didn't see it. Well, some of you did. But I love doing the store. Full stop. I'm unashamed. I love writing the little cards and then the diplomas. I printed them out today and I did the little thing. If you guys missed that, what show did I do that on? Revelation Red Pill on Wednesday. And I brought the thing down, the embosser. That's all Dentist Sherry's fault. She donated $10 to help pay for it after I said that. It was a joke. I'm so glad. So now all the envelopes that have of my thank you cards that have the little V, they're all getting embossed now, which is, it's reorganizing because I usually write a scripture on the back of this. It's reorganizing how I got to do my stuff, but everything's getting embossed. I love praying over the products before we send them to you guys. The 2 Bibles that are the last Bibles we're sending out, we enjoy inscribing those to you guys. I love packaging up all the different little things, and it's just like, I love doing it. And so because I love the products, like, I love what God has given us. Like, we are so blessed, and I'm so humbled that the stuff that we've been making for years is like finally in the homes of, like, I don't even know, hundreds and hundreds of people now, which is just like mind blowing to even think about, and so cool. So if you guys would like to make an order, you can go to shop.resistancechicks.com. Even though our sale is over right now, but if you're a first time buyer, a promo code should pop up for you guys.
Yeah.
To be able to use, you can use it one time. Glenda says, amen and amen. The products are smellerific and healing. I love that. Freckle says, Trump is creating all of this drama. He knew starting what he did would start wildfires of emotions and distractions.
Well, Michelle told me that the deodorant was used.
Oh, that's the other one I need to read. Hang on, no, I got to read that today. Wait, there's another one.
Poison ivy. This one blew
this
my
takes
mind.
the cake. So I don't even know how I can share these pictures. I don't know if Aunt Gail is okay. So usually you guys have seen Aunt Gail in the chat, okay? She sends me this message because she got her order. She says, hello, ladies. I received my package today, which is always fun to open. She's made several orders. Thanks again for the Armor of God beard and face oil because I donated. I gave that to her as a little gift because I felt led to again. I don't always give away freebies, but as I feel like led by the Lord, I do. Especially, she's made so many orders. She says, I have wrinkles, but proudly earned. You sent me a sample deodorant with the Armor of God last time. Now,
wow.
Remember, Leah, you made 5 that we tried to change the smell of, and I gave her one as a gift.
Okay.
And so she had it was this, but we were trying to make it smell like Armor of God. It actually ended up, once it sat, it really did smell like it.
We just didn't have a
we didn't have a label for it or anything like that. So whether we're going to produce it as that, I don't know. But anyway, so she got one. 5 people got one. She's one of them. She says, I liked it more than the regular scent. Previously, I gave some lip balm and bars of soap to the ladies that help at the local ministry for the poor. And then she sends a photo of that. And finally, I have a story of helping a friend weed eat her yard 2 times about 5 days apart. My arms and belly were very itchy, on fire after the second time of weed eating. Photo 1, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. Yes, I hit a lot of poison ivy at first. I used bentonite clay and water to make a paste, and it soothed the burning and the itching for 2 days. Photo 2. But it would get dry and hard and flake off and make a mess in my car and my clothes as I visited customers. Then I heard you say, rub the deodorant on one of your videos. So I started putting your deodorant on my arms and my belly, and I rubbed it in. Photo 3. It stayed moist, soothing, and flexible, and didn't flake or get tight like the pure clay does. This is 1 week out. Photo 4, and I don't have any new pus bubbles coming up. My yard doesn't have any poison ivy, but I will be wearing long sleeves when I help my friend. Thanks again, Gail. So let me see if I can do this without sharing. I mean, just download these because I don't want to share her information. I'm going to pull these up, the different photos, and show you because I'm assuming she wouldn't have sent them without.
She did have the Armor of God essential oils in her deodorant.
Yeah, but I still think I think it has more or less to do with the with you know what let me see if I can just pull this up this way. What's the not just the bentonite clay, the zinc oxide, those two things right there I can all but guarantee you are what did so well. So let me see if I can just share this should be able to. No, that's the wrong way. Stop going this way. Okay, that's not gonna work. All right, I'm just gonna upload it right now. So this is the first one that she sent me, this image of her poor arm after she had done the weed eating. Look how terrible that looks. That's so bad. So let me go here and I'll change this out real quick to the next one. So here's the next one that she did with just the bentonite clay, okay? And then here's the one that she did after she put the deodorant on it, right here. There, it's already clearing up. And then this is the one where she's a week out. It's totally cleared up. Like not really, there's like she said, there's no more pus bubbles, like it's like drying up. So that is awesome. And like, that's really terrible that you weed eated and got that. And then here's her picture of what she put together to donate to and I told her that I said, if we ever do extras, I always love, so I don't know if these were things that she purchased or extras that I gave her, but regardless, she put them all in little like baggies and gave them away. And I just like, guys, y'all are making my day. You're just making my day. Gail, that's amazing. You're amazing. You guys are all amazing. And I love you so, so, so much that for loving the products and for ordering them. Every time a new order comes in, I get excited. And I'm not going to lie. Putting the diplomas together is like super thrilling for me.
It.
I brought them in and I showed them to Leah. So I've gotten all the ones that they're getting ready to go and getting shipped out tomorrow. I've signed all of mine. Leah hasn't signed any of them yet. So Leah's going to have to sign all of them still. And then they're going to get shipped out, the ones that we've had ordered. If you guys have tuned into 50 or 100 episodes of Revelation Red Pill, please get a diploma. And I said this, it's not just for you, it's for me. And we had a woman named Joanne from Australia who she said, I want a diploma, but shipping is going to be way too much. Can you just email it to me? So I said, well, hang on, let me look up the shipping. So I did, and it really was too much. It's over $46. But I made her diploma and I emailed it to her. So if you are from around the world and you're like, shipping's too much, and or just even if you're in America and you don't want to order it, you want to print it out yourself, that's fine. I will email it to you. Okay. I'm happy to email it to you. It's going to have a digital signature instead of a real one, but it still is every bit as much from us and worth printing out and framing and the whole 9 yards. Okay. So I will send that to you for free. You just have to send me an email and I will give that to you. I'm happy to do that. I just want to hear like all these people that have tuned into the Revelation Red Pill. Is just awesome.
She got the embosser, guys. So.
I did get the embosser. This is the greatest thing ever. It is so super awesome. So I'm going to, speaking of the deodorant, I'm going to end tonight's show. I actually downloaded it this time with the commercial that the Taylor family, the Taylor boys, Ethan and Trevor, made for us. It needs a little bit of explanation, but I think that we give it enough with the Chickmunk version. I can't just play it by itself.
They made it. They have been using the
deodorant on bug bites. So I told Leah after Aunt Gail's message came in, I said, well, apparently, Leah, you have made a snake oil.
It is.
Because apparently you're going to slap it. I said, you put this deodorant on a mole, it's going to dry it up, it's going to take it off. You got like a little extra fat around your waistline, just put that deodorant on there. You're going to be svelte and thin. You need a husband, just start smelling it, anything you need. You need money.
No, that's what happens when you do the Armor of God. Because it smells like man. It literally, if you want to smell like man, you get the Armor of God.
Definitely.
I honestly, guys, this Armor of God is, you can't do smell-o-vision. But when Michelle was just opening this up for people at the a craft show she did, they were like, I have to come back. I have to get that Armor of God.
I put it on their arm and they're like, oh yeah, that's nice. And then they would walk away. I had this happen 2 or 3 times. 3 minutes later, they came back and said, I keep smelling that. I have to buy it.
I have to have it. It's there's something amazing. I know it's for men and it has a manly smell, but women, you can wear it too, and it's amazing.
And one last thing, and I know you guys you're so sick of hearing about our products. I'm sorry. It's better than us selling something that we didn't make, right? So one tip that I use this beard oil for, which also you can use the body butters for, but I find that the beard oil is just a little bit lighter on your skin. for this purpose. So I don't put foundation. It may not look like it. I don't put foundation on any other place of my face than my nose because I have kind of a Rudolph nose. It's a little red. So I put foundation to kind of calm down the redness of my nose before we do our show. Okay. And sometimes it ends up making its way like right here, which you guys can't see it, but I see it in the mirror, and it makes my foundation looks kind of weird if I put it there because I'm wrinkly right there. Okay. So pro tip. I take this and I apply it first on my nose and on my eyes, and it acts as a primer so that it fills in all of the cracks and the.
I already do that. That's
and so
what I do.
So
That's
then,
what I do.
And so the body butter does it too, but now I've been using the beard oil for that because it's a little bit lighter.
That's what I do. I put it right. Well, because I only put it right
Otherwise,
here.
you end up looking like you got chalk on your face.
I have a little. It's so old. I probably need to replace it. A little thing of foundation, and I just put it right here. Like we don't wear.
Yeah.
Maybe we should wear face makeup, but we don't.
No,
we don't. We don't. We just put.
I put a little blush on. That's it.
It's just my eyes. This is all.
That's hilarious.
And no fake eyelashes or no spiders.
But you know what's been making me so happy?
On our eyes.
I've been getting a lot of orders from men lately. And that's why I made the men's line.
We love you, dudes.
Because I wanted the men to have a product that they could order.
Don't forget your camel eye pillow.
They're actually still on sale because I haven't taken them off sale.
But I'm going to be
right
real
now.
honest with you. The camels are cool.
But they don't feel as nice as the.
But the satin has a coolerness to it. So when I sleep, I like it cold. So when I flip it.
I'll try to find a camo fabric that's satin at some point.
I'm going to be legit.
Yeah.
I'm going to be legit, man.
All right, you guys, we're going to sign off. Thank you for indulging and listening to my super excited rants and raving in a good way about you guys ranting and raving about our products. I am working on a page for reviews right now because I want to have a page that you can just leave like a whole page review, and I don't have that as an option. I'm working with the people. I've got a online chat going on back and forth to be able to make that happen. Because all of this stuff, like I would love for you guys to just right now, you can go to any product, go down to the description, go 2 tabs over, says review, and you can leave a review. Please, if you've ever purchased a product, please do that. Like it really counts. And I do have a page for reviews that all of those go to, but I don't have a page where you can just leave like that email that was just sent, where you can just leave like that. You'd have to leave it on a specific product to leave it. Okay. And so I want you guys to be able to just leave like whole page reviews. But the reviews make my day. Like I love reading the reviews, and you can give us 5 stars or 4 or 3 or 5, whichever you decide.
1, 2, 3, 5.
1, 2, 3, 5. 5 stars, better than 4. And I love it. But I'm going to try to make a page where you can leave like a whole page reviews about the packaging and all this, that, and the other. Because I really appreciate you guys. It really does make a big difference when people can read down and they can read what you got out of the stuff.
Trump is creating all this drama. He knew.
I read that already.
Okay,
but you can read it again.
I still want one of those Founders Bibles one of these days.
Okay, so since our Founders Bibles are sold out and we're not ordering anymore, unless I like want to order one for a friend for myself, we're not ordering them because I literally was going to. It was going to cost me like $800 to get a case of them. I was like, I don't know. Like that's me upfronting the money. And I just said, okay, God, we're done with the Founders Bible. It was a good run. I think we ended up selling like 150 of them, which we didn't really make any money on that. That was just, I had to buy them from Brad and then resell them. And we gave you guys the discount. I mean, we maybe made a little bit. We didn't because we gave away so many Bibles. We sold or gave away like 150 Bibles, which is so huge, right? And a lot of you guys helped fund the giving away of Bibles. So thank you for that. But if you still want to get a Founders Bible, by all means, go to thefoundersbible.com and use promo code ResistanceChicks. We're not really getting paid for that anymore. I don't know. Brad just decided not to send a check last year, which is totally fine. I couldn't care less. But by using our promo code, you still save 20%. And that's huge. Like that's the cheapest place you can get them online. So use promo code ResistanceChicks just so you can save money. And the more you buy, the more you save over there. Wicked Psych says I procrastinated. All right, we're totally going to sign off tonight. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for all your support. Thank you for your prayers. Oh, this is from Todd. If we wait another day, I don't know.
Oh, open it.
Oh, did I just show his address on? I'm so sorry if I did, Todd. I didn't mean to. It's probably been sitting there the whole time showing off your address. Todd, I hope I didn't dox you. I don't want to have to take down my whole episode for that. Or put like a censor line on there. Todd's such a cool guy. He's one of our best viewers. I don't know when Todd
So if you guys
started
want to send us
watching.
your letters, we have a P.O. Box 107, Milford, Ohio 45150. If you send us your letters, we'll read them.
This is not a
we'll read them
good
on
knife.
air.
This is not my knife. This is I hate to.
It's a Swiss Army knife.
I hate to rag on Swiss Army, but this is the worst knife on the face of the planet.
They're
and you know
not-
what these
and you know what? They're even like banned in the UK and all these other places.
See, it can't even poke my belly because it's so dull. It didn't even hurt me. It didn't even touch me.
You're not
The worst knife is. I'm gonna go get scissors. The worst knife.
You're supposed
is
to always do it away from
I
you.
know.
Not
Hang on, let's
towards
get
you.
scissors. The worst knife is a dull knife. These aren't even good scissors. See if they do better than the knife. Here's the thing. I like to open packages on air, but it's better if I can actually get them pre-opened on air. I would not have been using it like that if it wasn't a super dull knife that can't hurt me.
There's
like
a book
butter
in
knife.
here.
Oh, that's awesome.
End Times and the Secret of the Mahdi.
Oh, wow. Unlocking the mysteries of Revelation and the Antichrist.
Okay.
As our world seems to be spinning out of control, where should we turn for insight on the end times? Is there a note?
Todd, do you watch the Revelation Red Pill?
Todd just got a diploma. A 50-episode diploma. What's the note say on the page there?
I'm trying to get it open. It's like a secret code. There's no note. It's like there's writing in it, though. There was writing. What is this? Do I need to...
Todd. No, that's got to be... Hang on.
There was writing on it.
Maybe this is just from another piece of paper.
Okay. Maybe it's this page. Is there a note in here, Todd?
Todd, hang on a minute.
Okay, here we go. I got it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Todd, what in the wide world of long notes is this?
No, I love it. It's great. Here.
Oh,
wow, and
wait
a
minute.
donation.
It's not a
Holy
long-
cow.
It's not a long note. It's just a donation there.
That's whatever that's very significant.
Hello,
Thank
a gift
you.
for you. Late carrot planting tip. Summer heat causes the topmost layer of soil to dry out. Daily watering causes a crust to form on it. Counter this by placing a board on top of your planting after the initial watering. This will hasten germination by providing consistent moisture. After a few days, check daily for carrot sprouting. When they begin to sprout, go back to normal maintenance. If you don't remove the board immediately after sprouting, the board will smother your plants quick. So thanks for letting me help and support your efforts. Well, you're welcome.
You're
But
welcome.
it's the least I can do.
So I think that actually, more than it being an end times book, even though it is, what I do find very intriguing about this is it says the striking parallels between the Antichrist of Revelation and the Mahdi of Islam.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, and the rise of ISIS and other events leading to the end times, the movement towards a one world government. And so if you're going to include ISIS and making a parallel between ISIS and the Antichrist.
But he kept that. Wait. He kept it on the page.
I know, I'm on that page right
Okay.
here. Yeah, the Antichrist and the Mahdi. Is the Christian faith the only religion that teaches about the last days? No. In fact, the three largest monotheistic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, all devote a great deal of attention to eschatology, the study of end times prophecies. There are startling parallels between the prophetic teachings of these religions. Jerusalem, the end times prophecies of all three religions center largely on events in and around Jerusalem and Mount Olives, signs preceding judgment. In all three religions, there are prophetic signs pointing to the last days and final judgment. Jesus speaks about these, obviously, in Matthew 24. The Messiah. All three religions predict the coming of the Messiah. In Judaism, the Messiah will restore the kingdom of Israel, and God will be Israel's king. In Christianity, Jesus the Messiah will return to earth and defeat the Antichrist and rule over the Messianic kingdom. In Islam, Jesus is called Isa, and he is a prophet, and the Masih, the Islamic Messiah, who will one day return to help the Imam Mahdi defeat the Al-Masih Dajjal, the Islamic Antichrist. The final war. In Judaism, the Messiah leads to victory over Israel's enemies. In Christianity, Satan instigates the final conflict and the Battle of Armageddon. Islam also features a final battle, and like Judaism and Christianity, makes reference to the nations of Gog and Magog in the Quran. Sheikh Hisham Kabani, a Lebanese-American Sufi scholar, observed Jews are waiting for the Messiah, Christians are waiting for Jesus, and Muslims are waiting for both the Mahdi and Jesus.
Oh.
All religions describe them as men coming to save the world.
Interesting.
This is very interesting. Thank you for sending that. We
And
will
Jesus
definitely
came
look
to
at
save
it.
the world.
Amen. Amen.
No, okay,
Thank you, Todd.
so 5. What did we just talk about today?
Silver. Wow, those are amazing.
5. I've never seen these before.
Oh my
They've got
gosh.
suns on them. They are sunshine minting with little suns on them. Absolutely.
Suns on the back?
Beautiful. I've never seen there's
are
and
really
so
pretty.
he sent 5 of these.
Oh wow.
Thank you, Todd. I highly recommend you guys getting gold and silver.
These are awesome.
These are beautiful pieces of silver.
So this one has an eagle on it, on the sunshine minting.
Yeah.
They all have that?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You can see that a little bit better.
So what are we learning today, class? We're learning that
These are beautiful. Wow, they're so pretty.
These have been in here for about a week. So they have gone up in value by about $2 a piece since he bought them.
Wow. It's pretty impressive.
And silver's going to the moon, baby.
And back.
No, not back. Just past.
Well, Todd, that was really fun. Thank you for that. And we'll definitely check out the book by Michael Youssef. I've heard of him before, and I feel like he's probably one of those people that's on the internet. I don't know if Youssef is just a common name, but it does sound very familiar. And I've heard about the Mahdi, and I don't know enough about it at all.
So we will learn.
Yeah, we will.
We will
Absolutely.
educate ourselves.
We
Thank
will
you,
be
Todd.
educated. Todd, that was
Very
really fun.
cool. I love that this was a show and tell on today's show. We were talking about gold and silver, talking about what an ounce of silver looks like, feels like, and what it should actually be valued at is 10 to 1. So these should be worth about $330.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. A piece?
They should be 10 to
Yeah.
1. I mean, if we do them 15 to 1, you're looking at 225 at least.
That's a ton. That's crazy. Gina says, love you both girls. God bless and keep you. She says, I'm going to order some things. I want to order the whole thing. I need armor of God. So she says, I want it all now. Here's the thing. You can order it in a set. Make sure you look at the sets because you save more if you buy more. The armor of God has a bundle and the oil of joy collection has a bundle, and it includes the soap, the toothpaste, tooth powders, and
we
the
don't
deodorant
have one
in addition
with
to
a
the
eye pillow added, but
they're still on sale because I haven't.
Might, if you order a collection, you may get an eye pillow in there.
Leah's making promises.
You may. You may. You may not. You may.
Oh, so Liz says, I was so excited to receive the book that I won from Corey. Thanks so much for your words in the book and the fun package.
yay.
Excited to read the book
So
as soon as my
Corey-
crazy farming months are over and trying the sample that you sent. Many thanks. I think I sent some lip balm.
So that's awesome. So glad. Liz.
Yay, Liz. I'm so glad that you got Corey's book. Corey's book, Born Again as Kings, is phenomenal. And we showed you guys when he was on our show how you can get that. BornAgainAsKings.com is the easiest way.
So we'll see you guys on Sunday. World News. I know it's going to be rocking and rolling.
It's going to be rocking and rolling. We love you guys. God loves you. God bless. Remember, it's not just a conspiracy theory if it's actually the truth. Now you can tune into the Chickmunks ad. If you missed it, watch. If you've watched it, you can watch it again. And if you have watched it and you don't want to watch it again, then you don't have to watch it again. Okay, bye.
Our friend Christine was like, it's leaving a streak. And I'm like, you're using too much. You just actually, it's in the stick, but you don't really need to. Okay, like just a little bit goes
Little
that way.
dab will do you. I
And
don't need
just-
to do a
and you rub
video.
it in, like
I
I'm
don't know how
patting
many
it
people
in.
want to watch Michelle apply deodorant, but literally, I'm taking the tiniest little swipe and I'm giving it a good
And it
little
really
rubbing.
works. It's an odor neutralizer is what it is,
Yes.
and it lasts forever. It's like and so you're not going to go through the sticks like you would from the store. So it's like 2 or 3 sticks
It
in one.
lasts forever, and I love, like, just the other day, somebody bought 4 of them at one time. They've already bought some, and then they bought 4 more. The deodorant is probably one of the things that kind of cracks, and the soap. The soap and the deodorant oftentimes get bought, like, in bulk, and then it cracks me up.
Here, I'm going to just
I'm
tell
like,
you.
how much do y'all need to be clean and, like, not stinky? Which I
These
love.
are
I think it's
things
great.
that we-
She says, I love the deodorant. Oh, she says, you have to rub in the deodorant.
You have to rub it in.
Yes.
You have to rub it in.
You do.
But here's the thing. It doesn't build up if you rub it in.
Right.
Okay? But if you let it sit there, it can get a little crusty. So just...
Not crusty. It'll
on
just
your
maybe
clothes.
it'll get on your clothes. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't want to... But when it
But what's
soaks into
amazing
your
is
body,
that your body eats it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't have any issues when I rub it in.
right.
But like with all deodorants, it can build up if you just let it sit there on top of your skin.
So speaking of the deodorant, so the Taylor family made a video.
Yeah.
For us.
Yeah.
And wanted us to record our watching of it.
Oh my.
So why don't we, since we're speaking of this, Leah, if we have time, wait, that's not what I want to do. I don't know how much of in a hurry we are.
We've got a few minutes.
All right, so let me go grab this link really quickly. And we will, that way we can do this and you guys can be a part of it too. So they made a video, they call it the Chick Stick, which I think is hilarious and adorable. And for those of you that don't know, the Taylor family are part of the Resistance Chicks family. And the youth, I will call them, because I'm not sure if Cabry's involved. So the 3 boys and Cabri, do really fun videos. So we're gonna pull this up, and it's called Mosquito Bite Deodorant Cream. I've not watched this. This is, am I screen sharing? Hang on. There we go. Okay.
Wait. Oh, stop it. No, they didn't. No. It's a blood-sucking mosquito. The mosquito has just gotten squashed. Is that what that was? Okay, this is so much work.
If only there was a way to take away the itch with natural ingredients only.
No, they didn't.
For my affliction. I must be able to make the joint tangles to
It's deodorant. Since when does deodorant help with mosquito bites?
When pigs fly.
Okay, that's valid.
1 minute later. Oh, so soothing.
That was legit. What did I just watch? That was awesome. That was so great. What was that? That was like a high-level commercial. Now I'm going to pay them money to be my commercial makers. The artistry on that, like the detail, like Joy the Pig looked like Joy the Pig. And all the voices coming in. I am so impressed. Like, no, but here's the deal. Like that, somebody would take that and turn that into like a show. That's how they make like the Charmin commercials. Like that was just as good as any other 100% as any professional advertiser. Did you hear the bling? Yes, no, I heard it all. Showed up in the I know. Flare. And then she was flying. She was flying. They actually had her flying. Like this was old school animation. Oh my gosh. The high level intelligence. These boys have missed their climb. But here's the thing. Lord Jesus helped them to apply these talents for the kingdom, because I tell you what, that right there, without even going to animation school or advertising school, you boys have just done it. Like you have done it. You have done a commercial, like a high level. I want to know how long it took you guys to do that, because like each scene was drawn out. Like how do you draw out every scene like that? Like did you storyboard it? Like you plan it out? Yeah. Like write a script? Well, I'm going to give Christine props, because I'm going to say that's some epic homeschooling right there. Okay, let me read some comments. Sherry Kula says, love the deodorant. Rub it in. It really works. Sherry, the dentist says, LOL. That's a lot of time to draw all of that. I love it. Chris says, awesome artwork and creativity. We will be playing that. You're going to see that again. Over and over again. You're going to end our shows with that. We're going to end our show for the next couple weeks with that as an advertisement. That's the greatest. They said it also works on acne, too. So they've been using, for those of you that have missed it, the deodorant, they've been using it on mosquito bites, and they're saying that it helps with mosquito bites, which is amazing. Here's the perfume de Jesus. Here's our deodorant, aka the chick stick. Maybe the next time I order tags, which I have plenty ordered already, but if I ever do order more tags, I will put that on there. I'll make that as an option. Or maybe you should make a different scent that you call the chick stick. I don't know. That's amazing. You guys, hands down, super props. I did not think... So a lot of times they'll do actual acting with their bodies. And so that's what I expected. So I didn't expect something like that level of the art and all that. Professional quality advertisement. No, that was super amazing. Samuel says, I'm still enjoying the Armor of God beard oil. That's awesome. Thank you, Samuel. That's really helpful. Super, super helpful. Okay, so Taylor family, you get 8,000 thumbs up for that. So props for that.